Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Mashak, Yahweh Shah, all praise to the Most High. Shabbat Shalom, people. Today's class we're going to go into is going to be COINTELPRO. We have enemies. We got people that walk around and don't think we got enemies. Only person they think is their enemy is the cat down the street he don't like. But we got major enemies that's at war with us, even though we don't think that we at war. It's a war going on, and we are at war, man. There's something happening. If we don't recognize our enemies, you don't know. You have no clue what's going to be coming upon you. That's one thing. What's that book? Sun Tzu. Art of War. You got to know your enemy, man. That's how you fight anybody. I remember you ever say them fights where they run up to somebody, I'm going to whoop you, and run up there and get hit. Because they don't know their enemy. You ain't know they could fight, huh? Remember Jeremiah, what that dude did the windmill on you, huh? Yeah. And he thought he was gonna be in this kind of fight when he was in this kind of fight. That's a different kind of dodging, boy. You think you're finna get hit in the face, he getting hit in the top of his head. But you gotta know your enemy. If he knew that mother coming with the windmill, he could have came like this. Back and he'd have missed him. But you don't know your enemy, man. You don't know where them hits gonna be coming from. Let's go to first one. Let's go to Ezra chapter 4, verse 2. And we heard this story before, and I love this story. It's also in First Ezra too. I think it started in chapter 5 over there.
First and second
Ezra. We in Ezra. I'm just letting you know it's also this same story is also in First Ezra.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're in Ezra.
But we're gonna read it from Ezra. Start at chapter 2. Chapter 4, verse 2. I'm sorry, it's a lot. Whenever you want to read.
The book of Ezra, chapter 4, verse 2. Then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers and said unto them, let us build with you, for we seek your God, as ye do.
And that's another thing, man. When we're doing what we're doing, you notice everybody when we trying to get ourselves together, it's always, hey, what y'all doing? Let us do this with you. Civil rights movement, they jump in, let us do this with you. And then a lot of times, they like we always say, well, it was white people helping us out. Did you know them probably been the same ones that got in and infiltrated, that gave the government the information that they needed. But every time we try to do something, when we had our own, what is that, in Tulsa? Black Wall Street. Wait a minute, we can't get in, we'll burn it down. But they always try to get in it. But when we out by ourselves and just struggling, they never want to help us. Nobody want to get in then. But as soon as we start coming together, here they come. And it's the same thing they did way back then. They've been doing this with us. We just need to go back and look at our history, learn what went on with us in the past, and learn from that. That they will try to come in. And go ahead. I don't know.
You going back to one?
We can start at one.
Just read one.
Read one.
Verse 1. Now when the adversaries.
There you go. Yeah.
The adversaries.
The adversary.
The adversaries. Meaning these are our enemies. They are our enemies. We got enemies. We got people that do not like us. I don't know why we love them. But what's funny is they don't like us, but boy, we love them. We love them. We be making friends with Mr. Chong at the stove, thinking we gonna get a discount. Mr. Chong ain't gave you no discount. Mr. Chong got to send his children to college, while yours barely can't get to school.
That's the. Can't see how I will let somebody come in the congregation not to know.
Oh man, I was about to go there. That's why I said,
man, it is there.
It's just that, and that's the thing about it. That's gonna probably be what put one body down too. I'm telling y'all, letting the enemy in your door. Man, keep your enemy close, not that close. Man. You come sit down right here. So let's go ahead. Finish. Go ahead.
Now when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of captivity builded the temple unto the Lord God of Israel, then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers and said unto them, let us build with you, for we seek your God as ye do, and we do sacrifice unto him, since the days of Esarhaddon, king of Ashur, which brought us up hither. But Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, you have nothing to do with us to build an house unto our God.
Start that over.
But Zerubbabel, verse 3, but Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, you have nothing to do with us.
You what?
You have nothing to do with us.
They have nothing to do with us. First of all, they talking about they worship our God. If you worship our God, you shouldn't even been hating on us. They said, and that's what you got to understand. Is the men of Israel, they got a discernment. Man, y'all ain't got nothing to do with us, man. Tell me, we've been worshiping y'all God since Ashur. If you was, then let us do what we got to do. Why you? And then if you are, you wouldn't be hating after the over with. You got. Go ahead.
You have nothing to do with us to build a house unto our God, but we ourselves together.
And then you hear what he said. He letting them know unto our God. It ain't even your God. So what you doing is just vanity. Go ahead.
But we ourselves together will build unto the Lord God of Israel, as King Cyrus the king of Persia have commanded us.
Go
Then,
ahead.
then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah, and troubled them in building.
See, and that's the same thing. He just was talking about they've been worshiping our gods and they've been making sacrifices for what? Y'all ain't been doing to keeping the commandment. Y'all just making sacrifices. Actually, they probably was just praying that God don't let your people come and whoop us no more. But the fact is, they was talking all this, we worship your God. But at the same time, as soon as we start doing something and won't allow anybody else in, guess what? That's one thing they have a problem with, with these schools that we have. And I remember Vocab Malone sent somebody to the school, a black dude, his little minion, and they was going and they gave the description. He was like, yeah, in there they got black people on the wall, that all the Bible people black, the pictures that they had and everything. And he was trying to make it seem like they was like this, like a Ku Klux Klan or something up in there. And that's what he was trying to make it out to be, because they trying to see what's going on in there. What's going on in there? And that's all over the country. Anybody that got these buildings having these gatherings, they want, what y'all doing? Where y'all learn that at? How y'all know that? They know they trying to get in. They can't get in. So they go and do what? Lie. They got to put you down. Go ahead.
Let me tell you something right quick. Jump up to verse 1 right quick. I'm going to show you something. Read that.
Book of Ezra, chapter 4, verse 1. Now when the adversaries,
You hear that? It said, now when the adversaries is somebody that's going against you, right? Read.
now when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity,
They heard that the children of the captivity. Y'all see how that goes? Even at our lowest point,
right?
calling us the children of the captivity. They know we always in slavery. Just like everybody know we still in slavery now, and they still want to be. Dang, well, what they doing? We in slavery, man.
What is the bottom doing?
For real, man.
They having their fun, but they want to know what's going on at the bottom. I don't want to go down there, but I want to know what's going on.
That's right. Because it's like this. That's how they got the matches they showed on TV. Hooray, 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 a good time. Then, hey, what y'all doing down there again? What y'all? And we ain't really make no noise as much as they doing with their media, with their television. But guess what? They just want to know what we doing, man. Right?
And they the adversaries, and then they talking about they worship our God, though.
That's right.
When they know they don't like us, they know it. But that's how they always do. No, hey, y'all, we all together. No, we not. But we together, let me move in that fourth room in your mansion then. Let me just go kick it over there by the pool.
See, because the thing is, everybody else can build and do anything to the God of Israel, but when the lowest, the people, the children of the captivity do something to the God of it, Do something for the God of Israel. That's what they don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what the problem come in. That the lowest, these people at the bottom trying to do something. Y'all can't do nothing for y'all God, man. Let us do something for y'all God. Y'all can't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be a TD Jakes. We're gonna give TD Jakes a big old church, and y'all just do this right here. This is what I want y'all to do.
Right.
Y'all at the lowest, y'all can't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they have a problem with us, right? This is how you get a nation of people. That's how you keep them down, right? Go
That's
ahead,
exactly what they trying to do. Let's go back over.
Verse 5. And hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose.
Then did what?
To frustrate their
They
purpose.
hired counselors. So they campaigning. Man, that's hatred. If you're going to spend some money on some people that's lower than you, they ain't got nothing, and you're going to spend some more of your money just to mess with them, that's hatred. I'm going to spend some money. Go mess with them. Go do this. Go do that. Go do this. But this is the same one talking about, we worship your God. No, you don't. You can't. Not if you're going to do that to me. Go ahead.
And hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose all the days of Cyrus, king of Persia,
Mm-hmm.
even until the reign of Darius, king of Persia. And in reign of Ahasuerus, in the beginning of his reign, wrote they unto him an accusation against the inhabitants of Judah and Jerusalem.
They writing letters now. Hold on, King. Wait a minute. What's so bad about it? King Cyrus had gave him gave us the opportunity to go build our temple. They gonna write to the king, Xerxes, what that how they really say, but they gonna write him and say, and give him a bad report. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And in the days of Artaxerxes wrote Basham Artaxerxes wrote Bishlam Mithra, Tabel, and the rest of their companions unto Artaxerxes, kings of Persia. And the writing of the letter was written in the Syrian tongue and interpreted in the Syrian tongue. Rehum the chancellor and Shimshai the scribe wrote a letter against Jerusalem. And Artaxerxes, the king, in this sort. Then wrote Rehum the chancellor, then Shimshai the scribe, and the rest of their companions, and the deities, and the Arphaxites, and the Tarpolites, and the Arpharites, and the Arcubites, and the Babylonians, the Sushanites, the Hivites, and the Elamites.
Now hold on. You see how many people against? We the people in captivity. We in slavery. We at the bottom.
Right.
Why? And all these nations hating on them. Why would they? We in slavery. How y'all going? We hate them. For what? They ain't like we can do nothing. They hate us in America. We can't do nothing.
Why you think that the Most High said that even? Why do you think the Most High said Moab can't enter into the congregation? Right? These are the things because guess what, man? When the Lord, that's why the Bible written how it's written. Let me get a free
Yeah, go ahead. Knock yourself out.
Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 23 right quick. Show y'all something in this. That's the reason why the Amorites and the Moabites can't get into our congregation. Because of they seen us at the bottom, and what they did, they tried to curse us.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you think all these nations trying to curse us gonna think they're gonna get into our kingdom? You see how that goes, man? That makes no sense, man.
That same way these brothers doing, we hate you, but we want to get in. Let us see what you're doing.
That's right.
And all they want to do is get in and find a breach in your wall.
Watch this. Deuteronomy chapter 23, start at verse 2. You start verse 2. Yeah.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 2. A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord.
Read.
Even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord.
Okay, and read.
An Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord.
Read.
Even to their 10th generation. They they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever.
And it's going to explain why. He said forever, right? Read.
Because they met you not with bread and with water.
Because they ain't meet us with bread and water. They weren't trying to help us out. It was just to talk to us, just like the same thing what they talking about in Ezra, right? But read.
In the way when ye came forth out of
When we
Egypt.
came out of captivity in Egypt, read.
And because they hired against thee.
You see how they doing? They hired against us. That's the reason why they can't get into our country. They hired against us, man. Right? Read.
They hired against thee Balaam, the son of Beor, of Pethor, of Mesopotamia, to curse thee.
He hired Balaam to curse us. That's the reason why they can't enter into the congregation of children of Israel, man. Just because of that, right? And you see how these other nations trying to do the same thing in Ezra. The same example. They have always tried to do this against us, man. Go ahead.
And every time you thinking that them people that you're hanging around, you think, oh, this was all right. But no, deep down, no, they're not. They still go by their culture, and their culture, just like the rest of it, don't like us, man. Don't like us. If the girl say she like you, go to her dad. I can see how she won't like you tomorrow. Go ahead. Let's go back over. We have 6, 10.
Book of Ezra, chapter 4, verse 10. And the rest of the nations, whom the great and noble as Napar brought over and set in the cities of Samaria, and the rest that are on the side, on the other side, on this side, the river, and at such a time.
Man, they all got together. Let's just grab the castle back in.
Right.
And all we trying to do is build our crib, which they done stole, knocked down, and all that stuff, and we just trying to put it back together. And here that all these people. I mean, that's a lot of people, man. That's a lot of nation of people. Go ahead.
Verse 11. This is the copy of the letter that they sent unto him, even unto Artaxerxes, the king, thy servants on this side the river.
Hold on, read that again.
Thy servants on this side the river.
No, read that again.
Thy servants on this side. That's
No,
a lot of
yeah.
reading.
The man, yeah, that's not
Oh, mine don't read.
Oh, okay. That's why I'm like skipping some stuff. You need to get a new Bible. What was handicapped?
What is this? Thy servants, the man.
The men.
Thy servants the men on this side the river, and at such a time, be it known unto the king that the Jews which came up from thee to us are come unto Jerusalem, building the rebellious in the bad city, and have set up the walls thereof, and joined the foundations.
He said the rebellious and bad cities. See, now they lying on us. Because we've been in captivity, what? We had the Persian captivity at this time, right? So how many other captivities have we been in? Before this? Y'all should know that.
Egyptians here, that
Yes. Now, how can we be so bad if the majority of the time all we've been is in captivity? And what's so bad about it, what it is they say we bad because we don't do what their government say. We just follow what God say. Right. And then them be the adversaries of God. That's all it takes. It ain't like we going out fighting wars. We ain't starting wars. We ain't never been the ones that started. We just like, hey, we'll finish it though. But that's all it is. But they gave us something. They gonna take our name down. Same way we do it today. Take our name down. When we stand up and fight for injustice. We just the worst people in the world. But when they go do it like that insurrection into the White House, boy, that have been some black people. Boy, there'd have been dead bodies all over that building. The Capitol building would have been nothing but blood. They would have had field day taking them off. Blah, blah. Snipers. They brought in everything. But here they go. I wouldn't even think. I just knew somebody got to get killed when I saw it on the news. A lot of people, only one lady. One lady. And ain't nowhere in the world, man. I'm finna go sit in the senator's office. Put my feet on their desk. Boy, and you ain't getting killed. Shoot. Man, go ahead.
Verse 13. Be it known now unto the king that if this city be built and the wall set up again, then will they not pay toll?
Now how you know that? When we was paying tolls before, and they paying tolls now. So they just saying, man, they build up, they ain't gonna pay. Just make up stuff, boy. And I know everybody done had somebody lie on them about that. They ain't gonna do it. How you know? You just gonna just say it. Just if I say it, maybe it make it true. I'm gonna make it true. Propaganda. Go ahead.
Believe a lie. Sometimes people lie to themselves so much.
They start believing.
They start
Yeah.
believing a lie.
And that's one of the things when propaganda, what they said. I forgot who was that scientist said that. You can tell a lie over and over to the world, and eventually they just start believing a lie. It don't matter, even if you come with the truth. They be like, nah, that's the lie. And that's what we live on a lot of stuff anyway, because of everything we were lied about. That's why when you go to Christianity, boy, you be like, that's a lie.
Christ
then you
black.
go, yeah, then you look in the Bible, and they read it and know it and still say, nah, I believe the lie. I'd rather have the lie.
And you know, just like you say Christ is black, but then you talk about we go and talk about whitewashing. Why everybody got to bring up whitewashing? Because they even use whitewashing.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you say that you could buy furniture which is brown, but if they wanted a different color, they call it what? Whitewash.
Mm-hmm.
They still use the term too, like it's not there.
Or that other one, white lie. There's just a little tiny one there. But when we lie, that's a black lie right there. That's crazy, boy. I tell you, boy, they make all they little stuff. They just make themselves out to be so innocent when they done spilled the most blood in all of history. But they are, let them tell it, they the nicest people, boy.
And it goes into, like I say, ultimately we know it's a precursor to Jacob's trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Put out a bad report against people.
Yes.
Get popular persuasion. Give me Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1 real quick. We go into all these things. Another precept too. Give it back to God.
Knock yourself up, man. I ain't got a lot while I'm talking.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decree.
And that's what we have. They constantly do what? Decree unrighteous decree.
Mm-hmm.
Now even Brother Kirk said, we know this is going on. Even Representative Sheila Jackson trying to introduce a bill to criminalize speech on social media. Who do you think that's aimed at? But remember, this is supposed to be what? Freedom of speech in America.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know that, guess what? This truth is too much to handle, man. Read on up.
And that right grievousness which they have prescribed.
And have rolling grievous, because even when we read in here, that was grievous to them, saying that they not paying taxes and tolls.
Mm-hmm.
We know that's in our laws to do what? Abide by the laws of the government. I mean, you can't make it up. Read on up.
To turn aside the needy from
And
judgment.
that's what a lot of times that they do. And many of these laws are to do what? Turn aside the needy unto judgment. So guess what? Put unnecessary burdens on people, especially blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are the Israelites. Read on.
And to take away the right from the poor of my people.
Read that again.
And to take away the right from the poor of my people.
And that's ultimately what these things are for. Is that it on that?
Yeah.
Give me Psalms chapter 90.
Give me some more.
Okay, go ahead.
That widows may be their prey.
Read that again,
That widows may be their prey.
Ultimately, they're doing these things to do what? Kill off, especially the black man. We seeing these things today. We constantly see things that we don't hear about in the news no more. Black men still get killed out there, man. Whether brothers and sisters know that, man.
And how is widows they pray? Section 8, food stamps. Because guess what, man? They pray on to the single mothers. Why you think they have a Christmas drive for the single mothers, man? They come over there during the Christmas time. They go, I'll help all the single mothers. They pray on those things, man. And they put it on the news just to put out the single black mother because they don't want the man in the house, man.
Yeah, that's what it's talking about. The next one says they robbed the father. That's exactly what they're saying.
Read that out.
And that they may rob the fatherless.
That they may do what out?
And that they may rob the fatherless.
And how do they do that? Even like how I can explain, taking a man out of the home. Like we say, killing a man. Hey, you make one false move. Hey, you could be put to death, man. So they know, like you say, the men, guess what, is heavy in our nation. They know these things, man. That's constantly why they have abortion clinics, Planned Parenthood. That's why they had it, the feminist movement that's aimed solely at our people. Let me get another precept real quick.
Yeah.
Give me Psalms chapter 94. But just go hand in hand with that. Psalms 94 and verse. Oh, never mind. Go ahead and bring that
I was gonna get to
in
it.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You go back to what's the name? Let's read that.
Yes.
That's a 94.
The book of Ezra, chapter 4, verse 13 from the top. Be it known now unto the king that if this city be built and the wall set up again, then will they not pay toll, tribute, and custom, and so that thou shalt damage the revenue of the kings. Now because we have maintenance from the king's palace, and it was not met for us to see the king's dishonor, therefore have we sent and certified the king that search may be made in the book of the records of thy fathers. So shalt thou find in the books of the records and know that this city is a rebellious city.
So what he said, what they send a letter talking about if you go in the records and show this, and it says where they did this, and all we were doing was keeping our laws. We were doing what our God had told us to do. Read that again. I mean, go ahead. Where we at?
15.
Go ahead. Yeah, read that from the top.
Verse 15. That search may be made in the book of the records of thy fathers. So shalt thou find in the books of the records, and know that this city is a rebellious city, and hurtful unto kings and provinces, and that they have moved sedition within the same of old time, for which cause was this city destroyed.
Now he want them to go in the records, look up all the records and see, hey, see, right there, they didn't pay. They didn't do this. But I bet you if you look at the records of these nations, I bet they had more than we had. But now don't look at that. Just look at what they done. Go ahead.
Verse 16. We certify the king that if this city be builded again, and the walls thereof set up, by this means thou shalt have no portion on this side the river.
And that's funny, man, because that's when I look at Black Wall Street, because they say it took over a year for the dollar to leave out of that community. A year. That means every dollar we had stayed in the community. Wouldn't that be great if we could do that at all times and we ain't got to worry about what they're doing? We make the prices over here. Ain't no inflation, because we control our money.
And if you think about how it's being read, he said the book of the records. That means they have always kept tab on us.
Yes.
Even when we were discontinued, they have always kept a record. Watch this. Go to Esther right quick. Esther chapter 6 and verse 1. Goes into the same thing that we read. They have always kept some kind of record of us. So don't think, when we call ourselves Israelites and they get mad, don't think that they don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they get mad, because they know who the hell we are. We just got a problem because they done told us this way so long that we believe that lie too. That we were black, right? African American, right? Read this out.
The book of Esther, chapter 6, verse 1. On that night could not the king sleep,
Read.
and he commanded to bring the book of records of the Chronicles.
You see how they go? He couldn't sleep, so the king just, let's go back through this record. I mean, just go back and look. Why you think, guess what? Why you think God gave us the book of Chronicles? We got history too. Why you think Chronicles and Samuel and Kings, why you think they coincide one after another? We got, that's why people that brothers and sisters learn their history. Because when we don't know our history, guess what we gonna do? Guess what? Sister will start getting out of order with her husband when she ain't supposed to. Because she don't know her history. Because now she sees a feminist movement and she gonna go into that like I was breaking down last week. Now the man don't know how to run his household because guess what? He look at how he's supposed to do because the world say this, because he can't go on the record and see this because he don't know no better. We got a record. We got history. We can go back in our history and see what our forefathers did and what God commanded us to do, and that's how we should be able to be moving.
And they sure put them records on us, but what about them? It's like it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it, right? Just like Hillary. When he ain't paying taxes, he ain't pay his either. Right? So what the records on that? You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about that.
And that same thing that happened with Trump done got the top secret in this house. Let's go search it. Then turn around, Biden got him in this house too. But like Jeremiah had said, they be knowing who we are. Cause I remember this is like, man, it's probably about 2 days I just got in the truth. And we were at a store and what you call them ladies, Jewish lady came in the store, confused all the Negroes, boy, because she jumped up. She said, that's at 7-Eleven, you know the line. She came in the store and said that she was sitting there. She got mad, I don't know what for, and she yelled out, "I hate the Jews." And everybody looking like, "Nigga, you a Jew?" You know what I'm saying? But what she was saying was, she knew these are the real Jews, and she was now like, yeah, boy, you talking about a confused store. Even the Arab dude was confused. Huh? Like, ain't you a Jew? You the Jew? But boy, it was so crazy. But they just let me know at that time, they know who you are. But go back. You finished? Let's go back.
The book of Ezra, chapter 4, verse 16. We certify the king that if this city be builded again and the walls thereof set up, by this means thou shalt have no portion on this side the river.
Mm-hmm.
Then sent the king an answer unto Rehum the chancellor, and to Shimshai the scribe, and to the rest of their companions that dwell in Samaria, and unto the rest beyond the river, peace. And at such a time, the letter which he sent unto us have been plainly read before me, and I commanded and search has been made, and it is found that the city of old had made insurrection against kings, and that rebellion and sedition have been made therein.
And that's because we just kept our laws at the time. That's all it is. We never be subject. We was never subject under king. We subject under a God.
That's right.
And that's what they mad about. Nah, they don't do what everybody else do. And that's because we set apart. We ain't supposed to be doing what everybody doing. Go ahead.
Verse 20. There have been mighty kings also over Jerusalem, which have ruled over all countries beyond the river, and told, tribute and custom was paid unto them. Give ye now commandment to cause these men to cease. And
See, when we get money, they don't want us to get no money. That's why you think inflation done got so high. You Negroes went out and started getting a little extra money. They said, take that inflation up, raise that rent. You was almost close to getting your house, huh? A lot of y'all was like, I got one I got in mind, $180,000. That same house you looking at, what, $357,000 now? $420 now? $420,000 now? Every time you get close to getting that home, they gonna raise the price up. And they do the same thing. Now, why do you think they do with the credit? They know we struggle paying bills anyway. And then they got you get a water bill. What's funny is when I pay my water bill on time, they don't report it to bring my credit up. But when I don't pay it, they report it and knock your credit down. If you the poor, a lot of times you're gonna miss a payment sometime. That's just
What it is.
what it is. You poor. So who is that made for? Us.
Because guess what? In the other nations looking at us like, you know what? We know the rules. Y'all should know the rules too. Depend on y'all God. Don't depend on us. That's what we got our rules, right? Let's go to Sirach 17, right? 17:17. This goes right into what I was talking about. Because every nation has a ruler set up. The Lord already done it. He has already done it. But guess what? With us, we got rules set up too. That's why we go against them. When the kings start talking against our God, we can't go with their kings. We got to go with our God. Right? Read that out.
the book of Sirach, chapter 17, verse 17. For in the division of the nations,
When the Lord started dividing the nations, right? Read.
of the whole
Of
earth,
the whole earth, read.
he set a ruler over every people.
You see how they say? You see how that go? He said a rule over every people. They have already had their government, their systems is set up already. Right? Read.
But Israel.
But who?
But Israel.
Said Israel, read.
Is the Lord's portion.
This is the difference between us and the other nations, man. Right? This is how we take charge in our nation. Letting the Lord be our portion, man. Right? Go ahead.
And you know what's crazy? That's our people. When we had a God over us, when we asked for a king, that's exactly what he was like. Wait, hold on. We want a king like they got. And he's like, so you want a king over me? I don't want to brought y'all there. But you know what? Since y'all want to be, I'll give you one. Go ahead. I'll give you one. Then the beginning of them kings got us in a whole lot of trouble, man. Go ahead.
Let's go to get a precept.
Go ahead.
The First King chapter 4. Because they always watching us. They was right. They said they always had somebody, a king over Jerusalem that they paid tribute to, right?
Yeah.
That's what we did. But that was for us, our nation. That wasn't for y'all. They wanted to pick off what we do. To everything we do, they look up on it and take it.
Y'all better not be collecting no money over there.
4 and 20. 21.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 4, verse 21. And Solomon reigned over all kingdoms, from the river unto the land.
So we had Solomon reigned over all kingdoms, right? They're saying the exact same thing. Read on.
From the river unto the land of the Philistines, and unto the border of Egypt. They brought presents and served Solomon all the days of his life.
So they look at this, see the tribute that we did to our king, and they want to establish that into their repertoire now. Well, they did it to their king, so now we should be able to do the same thing. They should be able to pay tribute to us, right?
And see what's funny? Let me show you something. See, they got paid tribute. See, that's the thing about it. When the Most High lift us up, we don't have to ask you for no tribute. If you read that again, read that last line, that last part, and unto the border.
Oh,
Just read the
First
21.
King, verse
oh,
first.
21. Just read 21 again.
and Solomon reigned over all kingdoms, from the river unto the land of the Philistines, and unto the border of Egypt. They brought presents.
They what?
They brought presents.
See, they brought presents.
That ain't true.
See, that's what the Bible say. When the Israelites are what? When they in control of the world, everybody at peace.
Right.
We gotta beg you for that. Give me you pay these taxes. We ain't have to, because they seen the glory on the nation, and guess what? They gave presents. Here, you can have this. I can imagine them going to the temple, and if you look at how it's described with them gold angels. I'm talking about this solid gold, just all through there, just ooh. They thought they had a kingdom till they went to Israel. We ain't never even seen nothing like that because it's gone. The world ain't never seen nothing like this. I've seen the Persian kingdom. You go online and look at, they had a nice, beautiful Darius. In fact, when Darius in control, they had a nice, it still got all the remnants of it. They had tile walls, but we had gold walls. Imagine how this was. And to think about it, if you looked at a kingdom like that, shoot, you ain't got no problem. They ain't got to beg me to come in the city and pay. You want to pay just to go see it. You pay to go see a dolphin. You might as well go pay to see the greatest city you ever seen in your life.
It's like Oxen. When you look at how they're saying that they brought presents to us, jump down to verse 27. Watch how this thing goes.
Verse 27. And those officers provided victual for King Solomon,
Read.
and for all that came unto King Solomon's table.
So it came, not for just King Solomon, but everybody came to King Solomon's table, right? Read.
Every man in his month. They lacked nothing.
Read that again, man.
They lacked nothing.
Because when we in rulership, nobody lacks nothing, man. Because just like with the greedy, guess what? They like the scripture say, man. Look, could they leave some damn breaks, man?
Yeah.
Said gleaning grace. Could they leave some damn breaks, man? They don't leave no damn breaks, man. But with us, when we rule, everybody gonna eat, man. Just not like us, but they will eat, man.
Yeah. But if everybody prosper, think about it. If we run the world, but everybody is prosperous, no famine. Think about it. you'll go give gifts to the people who running it then because they don't gotta ask for nothing. This mother, you be like, man, these mother got this mother going good. My family ain't never having problems.
Or better yet, our God wasn't never able to do this kind of thing.
Exactly.
Everybody-
They got all their gods ain't no good. They know it, they God is great. Let's go ahead.
That's right.
I'm gonna go get him a present.
Got to.
Sir.
They paying us to make sure we stay in control. Because that's the only way it works. They probably mad at us when we broke the commandments. Broke the damn commandment. God dang it.
That's what the brother said on the boat with Jonah. Man, you gonna do that, man? You got the one true God.
And you finna have all us killed. Because you better get off the boat, man. You need to go back to your God, man. You better go home, man.
Off the boat,
Make
man.
it bad for us.
Get the precept real quick because they understood this. Let's go to Genesis chapter 12, verse 3. We say even during the time King Solomon, man, hey, boy, that's when we had the blessings, man. They understood this right here. Searching our records like they always do. You get that read that out.
The book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse 3. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed.
Even like how the brothers was bringing that. Like we said, they literally was applying that during that time of King Solomon. Man.
Exactly.
Like we said, that's why it was peace. Everything was back in order. And like we said, that's the time we're trying to get back to, man.
Yeah.
We say we getting tribute from everybody. Going into Isaiah chapter 60, nursing fathers, hey, bringing their wealth to us. We can't imagine that, man.
Because think about it, if you can bring peace on earth, man, they be saying that every one of them Miss Americas or Miss
Miss Universe.
yeah, Miss Universe. I want world peace. Ain't never happened. But the only way this world peace gonna happen is when we get back in power.
Peace in the Middle East.
That's the only way it's gonna happen. And think about it, if you bring the world peace, you don't have to beg them for nothing. They'll give you gifts. Hey, thank you. Thank you. This is what happens when we get back in the power. This is what happens when we running things. We gotta be paying taxes, but they looking at it as like we were just running around here whooping people if you don't pay this money.
And guess what? And you can see the example on how King Solomon, when he was reigning, and they were just bringing him presents. Guess what? Versus us being in captivity. It's the same. Let's go do the running right quick. 28. Verse 1.
Oh,
It's saying the same thing, man. It goes right into it. Right? Start at verse 1.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1.
Read.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments,
Read.
which I command thee this day,
Read on.
that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
But watch this next part. Read it.
And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee.
God dang it, boy.
mhm.
All these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you. I would love to have blessings coming upon me and overtake me. Just overtake me, man. Overtake me with these, man.
No doubt.
These blessings to come upon them and overtake them. I would love a blessing to do that, man. Shout me with the presents. I love that.
And then when you read them blessings, man, that's everything,
That's
man.
right. This is everything for us, man.
I'ma
So
tell
why
you.
would we keep the law? Go ahead.
You feel kind of crazy when that check hit early. Then it's an extra $200 on there. Then you go outside and find $100 bill on the floor. Then you get to the
Yeah,
store.
but
The lady said, "Well, gone. I ain't gonna charge you for that." You like, hold on. Too much for that. Crazy.
Somebody at the gas pump, I'll pump your gas.
Yeah,
I'll pay for your
You're like,
gas.
hold on, man. This is what we got to get back into, man. This is the normalcy that we want to get back into. Blessings on top of blessings on top of blessings, man.
Yeah.
Talking about you feel weird as heck when that day, man. That's too good of a day, man. You like, somebody had this. Too good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you want, though, man.
Exactly. That's what we need too,
Yeah,
man.
we don't even
And we
know.
gonna get it once those who keeping the commandments out. That's what. Let's throw that in there.
That's right. You gotta
Gotta make it. I want everybody to think, yeah.
But let, read like you say, read verse 2 again.
And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee,
And overtake thee, and this is the stipulations of it.
if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the
Mhm.
Lord thy God.
But that's a big old if.
Well, that's the smallest, biggest word in the Bible.
Man, if it was a fifth, we all be
That's
trapped.
the smallest, biggest word in the Bible. If, man. You'll be a peculiar treasure if.
Yeah.
If.
You'll get these blessings
Yeah.
if. Say, man.
To do. It's them 2-letter words where they get you.
Yeah.
To do. If. All right. Go ahead.
Them the biggest words that's on the block. You know, they look at. It might be tiny, like that dude you told me. I may be small, but I pack many fries.
Get it right.
I may be a small potato, but I pack many fries. Let's go to Psalms 41 and 5. Yes, sir.
The book of Psalms, chapter 41, verse 5. Mine enemies speak evil of me.
Mm-hmm.
When shall he die?
Man, boy, God.
That's a great question right there, bro.
And y'all don't, this is what these people be thinking about you. Oh, Becky at work, when she gonna die so I can get her seat?
That's what it takes to get your seat. They ready for you.
Yeah, they can't wait for you to die. When, boy, think they got an insurance policy on you or something? Go ahead.
My enemies speak evil of me. When shall he die? And his name perish.
Mm-hmm.
And if he come to see me, he speaketh vanity. His heart gathereth iniquity to itself. When he goeth abroad, he telleth it.
See that? Like I said, man, that's what they try to do. When they come in as a friend. But all they doing is getting information so they can run and go tell it. That's why, even like Martin said, run, tell that. Because that's all they coming in there for. You got to be careful who you let arrest, especially them other nations. I mean, I just say, I'm cool with you at work. You want to go have a beer? No. I don't want to do nothing outside of this job with none of y'all. Ain't no telling what you might do. Mess around and come up stinking somewhere, man. Don't mess with these other nations, man.
Yeah. Because I'm telling you, I had to learn, because like a lot of times we get in this truth, we got to learn how to coexist with them. Because if you don't, you will get yourself in trouble, man. I'm telling you, because they favorite line for me, he gonna keep this so short with you. I do. I'm gonna keep it real short. They be like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Go on somewhere else. Hey, I gotta talk to you right quick. I said, oh, okay, what's up? Oh, okay, I'm gone. But guess what? I know that works for me. It might not work for everybody. You might be the type of person you can have become a dialogue. I don't really want a dialogue. That's right. That's just you got to learn how to coexist. Because if you don't, they run and they rule everything. We can act like they don't until you be unemployment line.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get food stamps, trying to get all this extra stuff. You can act like you don't until you need them on the other side.
And that's what they want. They there to get you fired anyway. I don't like you anyway. You be always hogging the computer. You take up too much Wi-Fi. My computer go fast if you ain't here. They don't like you. They want you out of there. But I know some of you. I developed friendship. Some of them like that. I gotta pretend like, hey, we gay. Hey man, what's happening? When I get there, but at the same time, you want to go do this? Nah, I'm good. My dog ran away. I gotta go find him. I come up with an excuse for him. Hey. Okay, let's we finish that out. Nah, I don't need 7. Let's stay in Psalm. Let's go to 69 and 3.
Back me ready to get some. He ain't lying. He got
Hey,
let me blow my nose. I'm calling right back.
I do that. Look, I don't like being on the phone. I don't like. Look, if you're not talking, if you don't have nothing to say, I will. I promise you. Just like he tell you, he know he done been a lot. If he just stop a little bit, I be like, man, I think I hear the water run. Let me go to it. I'll call you back. But I'm getting off that phone. I'm not a phone person, but I get off of there. I remember, I know one day he said, we was on the phone and I said something. I forgot the excuse I made, and you paused like, nigga, please. He was like, and I had said something. I knew it was stupid when I said it. I was like, what did I use that for? That wasn't no good. But he knew, he's like, all right, I'll let y'all.
I got the phone laughing every time, so he gonna give it to me, man. I'm telling you. said, man, let me write this down. We got phone laughing every time.
69-3. 69-3. Psalms.
The book of Psalms, chapter 69, verse 3. I am weary of my crying.
Mm-hmm.
My throat is dry.
Mm-hmm.
My eyes fail when I wait for my God.
And see, that's the thing what's happening with us right now. Cause we getting beat up, man. And we thinking, man, golly. And you know what's funny? We be thinking God ain't came and he ain't did this yet. They think the same thing. Oh, God ain't even there. But see, that's where our faith come in. That's why hope come in. We got to have that faith. I don't give a dang how long it takes. We got to understand that the Most High's going to do what he said he's going to do. He been doing it. See, he never been about the time, our time anyway. He got his own time.
He do.
He got his own time, and he's going to do it when he say he do it. Like they used to say, what's the church always say?
He might not come when you want it,
He
but he'll be there right on time.
Yeah.
That's the whole time God. Yes, he is.
that. So, like I said, hey, it's all right to sit back and cry to your God.
It's okay.
It's all right to feel when you got something going on, hey, you need to get in there and pray, do whatever it is you got to do to talk to your Father.
It's okay. Because guess what, man? It's okay. Guess what? This time of the year, y'all got to think we in the winter. Everything dies down. The production slows down. Money slows down. We going through it. Don't think. When you think you the only person in this, guess what? A lot of times you think you the only person going through it. You look around, you start talking to people. That's why the Lord tell us to gather together. You start talking to people and you start realizing that, dang, she going through it too. Damn, he going through it too. Everybody is going through it. Because why? This is why Ecclesiastes 3:1.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going with that one.
This is the reason why. You're not the only person going through it, man. You're not the only person going through it. But a lot of times, while we going through it, you just see little glimmers of stuff the Lord keep on. He just keep you afloat while you're going through it. So don't think that you're the only one. You're just going to throw in a towel. Guess what? So when the blessings come around, when the season for the blessings come around, you might get cut a little bit short because you'll throw the towel in, man.
No towel in with the blessings in.
No, for real. So hey, you got to fight the good fight. Man. Read this, man. Verse 1.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season.
It said to everything is a season. It's going to always be a season, man. And sometimes brothers and sisters get in trouble. Why? By not knowing the season. Read.
And a time to every purpose under the heaven.
And it's going to always be a time to every purpose under heaven. Guess what? It's going to be a slow season. It's going to be a fast season. It's going to be a productive season. It's going to be all these different things it goes through. Mourning, all these different things. Happiness, joy, everything. We're going to go through all these things. But guess what? You got to endure every single one of them. Not just the good ones, but the bad ones too. So the Lord, when it's time to bless you, you might be going through all this, and the Lord can bless you with so much more on the other end. But sometimes people don't want to wait for it. They want it now. And guess what? You want a quick fix, you get what you're looking for.
And you just got to hold on to that seasoning.
That's it.
And that's one thing that's going to happen, man. Every year, you're going to have March. I mean, not March, but you're going to have spring. You're going to have a hot summer. You're going to have a fall. And you're going to have a winter. And they're going to keep going in cycles every year. They ain't going to stop your seasons in your life. They're not going to stop. They're going to go around. You're going to have some great times sometimes. But, boy, you're going to have some of the most sorrowful days, boy. You know them days when you was a kid and it's just raining for days. You like, man, God dang it. You can't go outside. Your mama don't like you no more because you're tearing up the house. I know I did that. I don't know how I was, boy. We go in that house, boy. Whatever was outside, we try to make it inside the house because of the rain. And all you doing is wait for that rain to be over with. Man, look, it's gonna stop raining. It ain't gonna just keep raining. It's gonna stop. And man, the best thing about when it rains, what's the best thing about it? That sun come out. And it's so bright and beautiful, and you just running around. Now you're muddy, nasty, but you feel great.
Like the old folks say, I can move a little further.
Go a little further.
Right?
That's Psalm 69:3, man. Brother and sister better put that in their repertoire, man. That lets you know, man, that everything ain't gonna be peachy cream all the damn time, man.
Watch this. Jump down to verse 10, Shalak, y'all. Verse 10. Ecclesiastes 3:10. It goes with in Psalm 69. Because like I said, Man, hey, that's the Psalm 69:10 heavy, man. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 10. I have seen the travail which God hath given to the sons of men to be exercised in it.
Read that over again, man.
I have seen the travail
The Lord said He's seen the trouble that we go through, right? Read.
which God hath given.
God give us this stuff that we go through, man. Don't think that you thinking that this world. No, God. Guess what? When you mad at something, guess what? You know you mad at God.
That's right.
Don't think because you mad at God, right? You going through this. The Lord said, and so it's like I say, it's okay to cry to Him because He's the one that's doing it. I need your attention. That's what the Lord said. I need your attention.
Yep.
You're gonna go through it, right? But read it.
Which God hath given to the sons of men
To do what?
to be exercised in it.
When you exercising in something, what does exercise? That
I
mean
was just I'm glad you brought it up. Boy.
Working
working.
out.
Working out.
You need shape food.
And
That's
see,
right.
and what happens when you get in shape? No pain, no gain. You got to work out. You got to get up and do something. That's why people don't want everything. Give it to me. I'm going to sit right here. Hey, him and that water right there. No, you got to get up and work out. Do something, man. You can't get in shape if you ain't doing nothing.
Damn sure can't get in spiritual shape.
Exactly.
Hey,
Let me get another precept. Let's go to James chapter 5, verse 1. It's like Oxygen bring out great precepts. That's what we have in Scripture, man. We have the prophets. Yes. Prophets like who? Like Job. Job is always a good one to
And
just
that's
kind of
what God
regulate out.
do. They try to solve their problems, but they try to solve their problems and try to tell you what God talking about, but they never go in the Bible. Yeah. But they got all the answers, but they never go in the Bible. But boy, when you pick that Bible up and start reading, you be like, oh, I did that wrong. That's why this going on.
Yeah, for real.
Go ahead.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, it is. Just say, yeah.
That's a great precept right here, boy.
Oh,
Read that right quick.
The book of James chapter 5, verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep.
Job chapter 5, verse 11.
Oh, what you said,
James 5 and 11. So like, James 5 and 11.
Boy, you gotta read that one, boy.
That's what I was reading.
Read 11, man. We'll go
read
back.
it, jump down.
read one, then go jump down.
Book of James chapter 5, verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your misery that shall come upon you.
So even you being rich, all the money, like we said, man, all the success, the nice house, the car, you still, he said, come to me and weep, man. You rich man. It's still gonna be problems, man. You cannot shake that.
I just say more money, more
That's
problems.
from the Most High. Now jump down to 11. What I want, man.
Verse 11. Behold, we count them happy which endure.
No, boy.
And that's one thing that brothers and sisters must learn in this truth, man. We must endure. We say, hey, this brother's been in the truth 4, 5, 6 years. You starting to see the pattern. You starting to see the seasons. Understand these things gonna go around. They're gonna come right back around, man. Read on out.
Ye have heard of the patience of Job.
And that's one thing to kind of meditate on, brothers and sisters. The patience of Job, seeing the things. Hey, just think about it. Hey, we could have nearly went through what Job went through, man. Think about it, man. Wife against him, children put to death, taking all his riches, took his health, took all these things.
Got all that. Then not only that, boy, we be crying over one boy. That boy be on the boy, ooh, and then somebody touch it. Man, imagine having him all over your body. And you gonna sit there and be like, hey, I can't sit down, I can't walk, I can't do this, but I know the Most High gonna do something for me. That's hard. That's what he's saying. We need to be like that.
That's right. Read on, huh?
Ye have heard of the patience of Job,
Uh-huh.
and have seen the end of the Lord.
And that's the point right there. You see the end, you know what's to come. Like we said, the Most High God ain't surprising us with nothing. We know everybody that put his trust in them, guess what? The Most High God is going to be there for us, for the kingdom. Read on up.
That the Lord is very pitiful.
Uh-huh.
Is pitiful, yeah. In tender mercy, and of tender mercy. But above all things, my brethren, swear not, neither by heaven, neither by the earth, neither by any other oath, but let your yea be yea, and your nay be nay,
Man.
lest ye fall into condemnation.
And that's the thing. We want to make sure that we stay on point with this so you don't fall into condemnation. Go ahead, Doc.
Oh, praise.
You say more money, more problem. Guess what? More wisdom, more problem too.
That's right.
Yeah.
More wisdom. The more you learn in this truth, guess what? More problem you gonna get.
The more sorrowful you get, boy, 'cause the
Because-
more you learn, you see a lot of stuff that you didn't even think about.
What do you think Revelation 10 and 10 is saying? Goes into your belly, goes to your mouth sweet, but in your belly is bitter. You get it, God dang, man. Guess what? Then the Lord just is trial to build you up, to give you more and more, man. Right? Go ahead, Al.
And I like that because when you say that, because that's one thing I look at that example. When I had read that a long time ago, when Yahushua had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, and then the Holy Spirit led him to his enemy. You like, wait, why you leading me there? Because see, like I said, trials is trials is to do one thing. Satan got his, Satan has his way of doing things. He'll use that trial to try to break you down. Most High use that same trial to build you up. That's all it's about. Work yourself out. Exercise. Get in this Bible. And not just get in the Bible, but do what the Bible says.
Become.
Because everybody be like, I read the Bible 5 times, but you ain't did nothing to say. We see them all downtown. Everybody downtown and read the Bible at least 3 times. At least 3 times.
And got about 15 scriptures tattooed on their body, man.
Right.
Man, I see, I got this tattoo right here, bro. You ain't doing nothing that the scripture says.
And then when you ask them, what scripture, where you get that, well, you ask them about a scripture, they be talking about, go to John 3:6. That's where they gonna go to.
On my shoulder.
Yeah, and they gotta look at it. Yeah, John 3:16. Yeah, go there. I'm back. Psalm 42:10.
Yeah, we see.
My bad. No. Read it.
The book of Psalms, chapter 42, verse 10. As what they swore in my bones, my enemies reproach me, while they say daily unto me, where is thy God?
See, that's what they doing. Man, that's antagonizing, boy. They antagonizing. Look, they got a sword on us and talking about, where your God? Your God ain't no good. I bet you can't say. But see why they still holding that sword on us? Guess what? Sooner or later, the God finna do his thing on him. So that's the only thing you gotta worry about. Cause I ain't gonna lie. A cat pull out a gun on me, man, I'm gonna be all kind of B's and H's, whatever he say I am. Yeah, I am. I'm gonna be all that. I'm not finna jump up and act the fool and want to fight it because all he gotta do is pull that trigger and I'm gone. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sit right here until my Savior get here. Yeah, that gun ain't gonna be nothing no more. Then boy, when he get that gun out your hand, I'm talking smack. And I'm whooping. Yeah, that's what we need to be doing. No. What's that? Yeah, when but when that gun in your face, you don't do that. I'm telling you, don't do nothing. That's what these people got on us now. Obey their laws unless they come against God's laws. Go ahead and obey what they got going on, because they will lock you up. They will humiliate. Yeah.
Humiliate.
Yeah, I had a DISD on the left side.
You sound like you might.
But hey, they will do that, so we must. Hey, like I said, it only gonna last for a little while. Well, go ahead and read that again, and I'm gonna switch.
Verse 10. As what they swore in my bones, my enemies reproach me, while they say daily unto me, where is thy God?
Where your God at? Where your God? Ain't none of that. We still got y'all at the bottom. Y'all up here, always on the corner talking about God this, God that. Where is it? And that's what they be thinking about. I'm telling y'all, man, they get right off them trains of ones going to the Stars game and stuff. That's what they looking at. Them niggas down there preaching for nothing. They God ain't doing no work. But they think they God is working because, hey, they got the money to run to the Stars game and the Mavericks game and just having fun. But as soon as you Negroes, boy, you niggas quit having fun. They don't want us doing nothing. Let's go to Job chapter 13.
Right. Send the police down there, man. They have fun down there.
Think about it. Think about it. When the parks, what happens at the parks? When black people be having a good time for years, collect. Then all of a sudden they come down there, want to check insurance, make registration, let me see your license, so to run them off. White people get down at that park, boy, be down there, bottles everywhere, and all kind of stuff. They can do it whatever. Nobody. What's so bad about it? They don't even have cops there.
That's right.
But we go to the park, boy, about 20, 40, a whole fleet of them out there, man.
Somebody go to the concert, kill about 4 niggas up in there. Ain't no cops gonna come, man. They just dead over there. They don't know who done into nothing.
They don't solve them crimes. We can't solve that unless we can get 2 for 1. Let's go Job chapter 13, start at verse 3.
Book of Job, chapter 13, verse 3. Surely I would speak to the Almighty, and I desire to reason with God. But ye are forgers of lies.
But they what?
But ye are forgers of lies.
Yeah, we're going to go speak to our God. But see, y'all keep lying on us. First they ask, where your God? Then when I'm going to speak to them, then you finna lie, make up stuff on me. Go ahead.
Ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value.
What?
Ye are all physicians of no value.
It's like having a doctor, man, that can't do nothing. That mother can't even give you a prescription. You come in there, I got a headache. He just pat you on the head. That might help. They no good. Physicians, that's horrible. Go ahead.
Oh, that you would altogether hold your peace, and it should be your wisdom. Hear now my reasoning, and hearken to my pleadings of my lips. Will you speak wickedly for God?
Will you speak wickedly for God? Go ahead.
And talk deceitfully for him?
And talk deceitfully for him. That's what they do. They done took your God and gave you another one, man. Little old weak God. I mean, just a little fragile little white boy, too, man. I mean, they could at least pick somebody like Hulk Hogan and put him on there. Nah, they done picked the old little homosexual, just sweet. He loves everybody. Golly. Go ahead.
Will ye accept his person? Will ye contend for God? Is it good that he should search you out? Or as one man mocketh another, do ye so mock him?
Do you what?
Do ye so mock him?
Do you do that? They do. We better not. Go ahead.
He will surely reprove you if ye do secretly accept persons. Shall not his excellency make you afraid, and his dread fall upon you? Your remembrances are like unto ashes, your bodies to bodies of clay.
That's all I need.
Read verse 10 again.
Yeah. I knew someone about me.
He will surely reprove you if ye do secretly accept persons.
Because you may have a brother or sister, hey, they be strong, always in the spirit, but then when they get around their co-workers, they secretly do what? They secretly had an affection for Becky and them, man. They secretly have respect of persons, even in the truth, man. You know, we know a lot of times a gift destroyed the heart. Brothers and sisters want to make sure, like I said, it's all right to give brothers and sisters things, but is it an agenda behind it? Right. You know, those are the things that brothers must look for, sisters must look out for, and definitely we must look out for when we dealing with the other nations, man. Because they'll use that thing to kind of break down walls and break down barriers just to push their own ideology on you, to kind of just wear you down little by little, man. So, hey, we can't secretly accept persons, man, especially in this truth. Man.
Yeah, and they be switching, you know, like around. What's up, brother? What's up, man? What's up, man? They be right at work. Hey, brother, how you doing? How you doing? Okay today? They done already, but they what's so bad about it, the stuff they say to them be about you. And they looking, I remember I was at the job, it was a secretary, black lady. And they started talking. I'm overhearing the conversation. White girl said something, 2 white girls, 1 black girl. The white girl said something, the black girl said something. Then she started a conversation. She just had a ring. This black guy hit me. Boy, they even got shocked. Like, why could you just say somebody hit me? But she was trying to fit in, and everything she was doing, she was always tearing down the black people. Like, and she thought that was bringing them closer to her. But they were looking at her like, man, And I'm sitting over there on the side like, this lady is tripping. And that's what I said. Did she come to me and try to act like all of a sudden she black again? Right. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. I ain't got nothing to say to you. But go ahead. That's all I needed on that. Let's go to Psalms 94 and 3. That's what, it's not the one you wanted, but I know which one you wanted because I think that was the back. Psalm chapter 94. Well, David was right like the mother, wasn't he? 94 and 3.
Book of Psalms, chapter 94, verse 3. Lord, how long shall the wicked triumph? How long shall they utter and speak hard things?
Man, see, they wicked. How long is going to happen? That's what he's asking. Go ahead.
And all the workers of iniquity boast themselves. They break in pieces thy people, O Lord.
They talk about themselves. They always great. They don't never do nothing wrong. But what it is, they just don't got no punishments for them. They don't serve no justice for them. It's always unjust in America. They always looking at us, man, you killed your wife, and then we'll get probation. I mean, they get this, just the slightest bit. I was looking at, court cases. And I was like, boy, the black dude, boy, you helped, you better not did nothing. You drove, and you still got life. He held it down. I just stabbed him one time, and he did the rest. How he don't got nothing? A couple of years? Because it's an unjust system, man. Go ahead.
And guess what? Sisters better be careful, man. A lot of them sisters they marrying them so-called Edomites. And guess what? How our brothers do, you'll leave a woman alone, but Edomite, they gonna kill their wife.
Oh, boy,
you leave them, one of them, they'll kill you, man. Guess what? If not just kill you, if saving they don't kill you. Why you think they waiting for us when we go to court system, when we fight for our children? Why you think the so-called black man don't fight as much? But the so-called Edomite man, they want blood out y'all.
All of that stuff.
Out y'all, out there, man.
They'll tell your buddy, hey, let's go fishing.
Don't do it.
That man took his wife on that boat and he just come back like, and he don't even say nothing like she didn't go with him.
He ain't got no tears.
He don't even tell. He don't tell nobody. Oh, where your wife at? Oh man, we went boating. And she went in the water. She never came back up, and I just went ahead and left and went home. Golly, how you just? Oh, they went. What did they do?
What on scratches on your neck, boy?
Deep sea diving, and the dude shot the wife with the dang on harpoon. I thought she was a fish. Man, y'all go ahead and go with that other nation, boy. Like you said, they want blood when they need to. They no divorce. Don't worry about it, baby. And they be loving them.
The devil do us part.
They go take pictures.
Yeah, do the devil
I'm
part.
finna kill her tomorrow.
Do the devil part.
Yeah. It's like that dude that just seen a case yesterday. The dude wife, he was having a nice family, but the fact is he liked another lady. Instead of him just getting a divorce, this man with his children in the house go and get a bat, come back in their house with a mask on, in black. And beat his wife in the front of the kid, then run out the house. And then the girl was the one who told him, he kind of looked like daddy. I said, man. He was just all innocent the very next day.
I work with some Edomites did that. I work with an Edomite, killed his children, waited for his wife to get home, then killed his wife, man. I work with some people, man. A dude literally did this mess, man. I'm talking about straight Esau, man. But guess what? His wife went out. He killed his children. His wife went out for about 4 or 5 hours, sitting in the house with the children dead like a mother. Just sitting there waiting for her to come. Then after he killed her, turned around and killed himself. That's how Esau rolled, man. I'm talking about he just got that spirit on him like that.
Man, they do the most gruesome stuff.
They do. It's gonna be brutal, man.
Yeah, they do. Let's go. Start at 5.
Psalms chapter 94, verse 5. They break in pieces thy people, O Lord, and afflict thine heritage.
They what?
And afflict thine heritage.
Man, That's evil, man. You afflict his heritage. I'm gonna go bother his heritage, his culture, his being. That's what they did now. Look at you dancing now. We used to have our own dancing. Now we doing all that old white people. It ain't us.
It ain't us.
We were doing the Cabbage Patch, all cool with it. Now it's just why y'all leave our dancers alone, man? They just tear the stuff up. And now the kids now they grow up thinking that that's how we dance. Y'all was doing it. No, we wasn't. No, that was not a part. That was white people who tried to do the stuff we were doing. That's where that came from. They tear stuff up. They just take our heritage. The #1 rapper, Eminem. Man, you gotta be out your mind. The #1 basketball player, Larry Bird. They take it. They gonna take it, man. The #1 singer.
Celine Dion.
Yeah, I can't. I'm glad I had to stop. I couldn't even name a white singer. But
Elton John.
they gonna throw them all in there. The #1, the #1 gospel song is a white lady. Shoot. They gonna take out. They just that's terrible, man. I'm just tear your heritage up.
Even to compare with COINTELPRO, like we said, now that's why you got pork and everything. They always putting in, what do you call it, like not that backup measures to kind of assure we stay in scene.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's where, like you say, you have pork enzyme. You really have to do a diligent search on those
Oh
things,
my
man.
goodness, you do. Or they throw in the and y'all better watch this too, because if y'all be getting noodles and stuff, y'all watch at the bottom of the thing. When you read it, it's always at the bottom. It'll say shellfish. They're like Jerry bought, boy. We went in there and bought these casings. We was at the counter. I got all this. They had them on sale. And Jerry said, "Hey man, hold on, don't buy that yet." Like, why not? It's beef. No, it was chicken. Remember? In a pork casing.
Yep.
I'm like, man, God dang, boy, I was mad too, 'cause them must look so good. And I had to put them all back.
Hunt that motherfucker store.
But go ahead. Let's finish this.
I say, because you know when it's an Israelite in the store, man. That's why Maccabee said, we always about them Israelites, because they do certain stuff. You see somebody in the store like this for a long ass time.
You can spot them in a minute. I can tell before I get there. That's an Israelite right there. That mother be having them glasses on them out.
Hey, bro, what that say?
Oh man, I did that plenty of times.
Proud.
I done that plenty of times. What that say? I ain't got my glasses. You tell me what that say.
Them Israelite move, they'll make you spot them, man. Because they in the store like that, man. You in there shopping, you don't went down one aisle, you don't went down the next aisle, you still at the same spot doing this. Yeah.
And then after that long read,
Ford.
and then pick up the next thing. And they right back at it. Go ahead.
Verse 6.
Uh-huh.
Verse 6. They slay the widow and the stranger and murder the fatherless. Yet they say the Lord shall not see, neither shall the God of Jacob regard it.
They listen. Read that again.
They slay the widow and the stranger and murder the fatherless. Yet they say the Lord shall not see, neither shall the God of Jacob regard it.
They doing this, man. They don't think that our God see this. Because think about it. If you've been doing this for thousands of years, you believe ain't not gonna happen to us. We can keep doing this. That's why they believe so much into that homosexual God they got. Because think about it. If you've been running the earth for over 1,000 years, think about it. You think God working for us. And guess what our people do? They follow after their God because they see that they got all the money. They see that they running stuff, so they figure their God is better. No, that's a setup. That's a setup. Their God ain't even doing that. It's our God letting them do what they do. Good. That's all I needed on that. Let's go to Micah chapter 2. That's one we all familiar with, this one. Should be. Two and start at one.
Book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it.
Yeah, they make a show like the brother was talking about. They throw that little half measure in there just to try to keep you in sin. They practicing it. They know you better than you. And if y'all keep staying on them phone, they even know more about you. Go ahead.
Because it is in the power of their hand.
It's in their power. They can do it. I got the power too. I got the power to go look. Man, we wouldn't even know how to go look up and find everybody's information like that. They got the power to. Go ahead.
And they covet fields and take them by violence.
No, they patch on the head. They take them how?
And take them by violence.
They ain't playing. Go ahead.
And houses and take them away.
Yeah, you thought you owned your house, but you don't own the mineral rights of your house. And guess what? Don't pay that. You can pay that whole mortgage off. Don't pay the taxes at the end of that year. I don't give a damn. You don't pay it all 30 years. Don't pay the taxes. And they coming right in and taking it. What's so bad about it? You can go right in out there. This ain't no jet throw. You can go out there and you dig a hole and there's oil up under your property. That ain't yours. It's right in your backyard, but it ain't yours because you don't own the mineral rights. They take it. Take you home. What's so bad about it? Enemy domain. You can have your house right there. They want to put a highway through. They're going to give you the money. Well, we think it's this amount. You don't even get to negotiate. We think it's this amount. That's a fair value. Here, get your home. Go move somewhere else. We taking this. And a bulldozer down the next day. That's stuff we have to deal with. When we building the highway through, we got to go over here and buy these people out. We find the best way. Like let's say that. Why do you think they go through a lot of black neighborhoods? Anybody know why?
Cheap.
It's cheaper. I can go buy these houses out, so the highway goes straight right there, and you'll see it very often go over here because right there was cheaper. Then guess who live in a cheaper neighborhood? We do. So enemy domain is used mostly on us. Central Park in New York City. That was an all-black neighborhood there. That's enemy domain. They took it.
Man, it goes so deep, like we say, even to, like we say, on a pollution level. It's not a coincidence why all some of the major chemical factories is mainly in black neighborhoods, black and brown. You know, polluting the water, polluting the air, a lot of high cancer rates. There was just one city in the state of Georgia, you know, made by Pacifica, the Koch brothers. I mean, generation after generation was just filled with cancer, man.
Yeah. And think about it. Over in West Dallas, when they had the lead and even on the parks and stuff, all through the parks, everything was painted and used lead in it. But then I'm thinking, that's the city of Dallas. They got plenty of parks. Why the ones with lead only where the Negroes live? How come ain't no lead been found up in Lake Highland Park? They got parks out there. That's crazy. It's all about y'all, man. It's all about us. They don't want you, man. Like I said, the scripture's telling you. We got enemies, man, and our enemies are not playing with us. I know we play with them, but they not playing with you.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Even a man in his heritage.
And what?
Even a man in his heritage.
Boy, that's, like I said, that. Like Jeroboam was bringing out that scripture, the grape gatherers. Man, golly, at least at least a thief will leave some grapes. You know, they just trying to get as much as they can and burn up out of there. You can go back and pick up you some grapes. But here this man come, he want everything. He gonna take your dirt. He ain't gonna come back, you ain't gonna have no tree, no dirt, no house. This man finna take everything. It's gonna say your heritage. He just don't like our heritage.
For real. You know, son be 3 years old. He saying his ABC. How you learn ABC so fast? Well, he was reading it. Well, let me have that too.
Yeah.
But okay, who take anybody's stuff, man. If you see something good, that's just like a person. If you fishing and they see your cork bobble, everybody just throw their hooks in the same place you throw your thing in, man. Your cork in. If they see anything, they want it. You do something good, and it start making money. Next thing you know, why you think every entertainer tell you, hey man, you ain't get that phone call yet? We know people that done got the letters to the Illuminati.
Yeah, man, that's scary.
Illuminati will send you a letter.
Prime example was the Beats by Dre thing. They bought them out, boys. Now you see, that thing ain't been selling like how it used to.
Same way the Yays did. The Yays.
Yeah.
Man, I had got one of them letters he's talking about. And when I tell you, when I read it, man, when I tell you they knew everything. At that time, I was just getting the divorce. They knew everything about me. I don't know who it was. They didn't even have a name signed on it. But they was asking me to come to this meeting and sending this back and doing it. I was like, man.
He's gonna make them rich tomorrow.
I showed it to him. That's exactly what it said. You do this, you'll be rich tomorrow. All them problems, and they named all my problems too.
They did too. They said you will be rich
We'll
tomorrow.
be gone tomorrow. You'll be, I'm like, that, where's these people, man? I ain't gonna lie, I got scared in the mud, boy.
Boy, that's that letter from Satan, boy. If you worship me, guess what?
Yeah.
All your problems go away.
Just like, and not just him, but his sister had
Yeah,
one too.
sure did. In the same kind of
I'm
envelope,
talking
too.
about in the same letter, and they had all her problems listed, and they
Yeah.
told her if she signed it, she'd be rich tomorrow.
We seen her too, hers too. I showed her mine. I was scared when I got that thing. I was like,
You like, dang. But you thinking that people, you think they not monitoring what people do. Let you be a breakout star or something, man. Here they come.
Here they come.
Let me get that Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 2 real quick. You like how Ox them going into verse 3 select. Like we say, they know. That's why it's pivotal that brothers and sisters enduring this truth, because that is our only protection, man. Our only protection.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 28, verse 3. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee.
So the Most High God has given us some inside and secret knowledge about Esau. When you read verse 2, it talks about Tyrus, but on the spiritual aspect, it's really going into who? Esau. On how they think on a deep level. Meaning what? There is no secret that we can hide from them, man. They're watching everything. Phones is monitorized. Hey, your steps, debit cards, bank accounts, Facebook posts, all these things are being watched, man. So like we said, they literally trying to catch brothers and sisters slipping. Even ask you on your hard times, I see this bill getting such and such here, man. Come on and come to this side. Guess what? We'll make that thing go away. So hey, brothers got to hold fast on these things, brothers and sisters, man. Go ahead, Doc.
On you, out.
Oh, my bad.
Book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 3. Therefore, thus saith the Lord.
No. I thought you said.
No, that was read it again, though. Read verse 3 again.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 28, verse 3 from the top. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel.
He said that they are wiser than Daniel. Daniel, think about that, man. Daniel was very, very wise, man. So how did he get that wise? Guess what? Going through the knowledge of our forefathers, going through the history of all these nations that have been before us, kingdom after kingdom after kingdom. They seen these things, man. They understand how the Israelites operate. Keep them in sin. Guess what? We can continue to rule over them. That's what make them wise, you know?
There is no secret that they can hide from
And
thee.
so they seeing all these things by doing what? Tapping the phones, COINTELPRO. That's what these intelligence programs are all about. Go ahead, up.
Yeah. And that's the thing about it when it's talking about it says that they will not be able to hide from that. They won't hide no secret. That's how wise he was, and that's what we got to get back to getting in with God, so we can see everything that they trying to do, and we can with this Bible. But it's the best, man. Ain't nothing like this. Because this Bible, when you get in this Bible, I know what my enemy think. I don't give a dang how he act, how smooth he think he is. I know exactly what you're about.
That's right.
And nations be talking about, nah, yeah, because y'all prove yourself to be like that. You proving yourself to be exactly like these people in the Bible.
And that's a great example, man. I ain't gonna even lie, a great damn poem. What book did you know on the planet Earth that could give you insights to the thoughts of your enemies?
Mm-hmm.
Can't no book on the planet Earth do that, man. To know what they thinking, no. Well, that's why it's called, like I say, the living word. Go ahead.
Living word. Now we can go to Psalms 94 and 20. Put down on the side of that Psalm 94 and 20 and put down this Habakkuk. We're going to go there, but Habakkuk 1 and 4. Y'all can go ahead and write it in there.
The book of Psalms, chapter 94, verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frame mischief by a law?
By what?
By a law.
Read that from the beginning.
Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee?
See, a lot of times, man, the people that's in sin and doing all that, they shouldn't be fellowshipping with y'all. You shouldn't be one, hey, let's go. No, Should they? Go ahead.
Which frameth mischief by a law.
By what?
By a law.
How they do it?
By a law.
By the law. Why you think the law's against us? Why you think the jail cell's so filled up with us?
That's right.
Because of the laws that they done made.
And you know it's something because you steady seeing black men instead of getting exonerated for being in jail for 20 and 30 years. You know it's something. Come on, man.
Over a joint. 30 years.
Over a lot.
And that this innocent
That's
haven't
right.
did anything. And what's so bad about it, you can go in there. We know we got some bad characters, but there's a lot of them in there that is innocent, man.
That's right.
And then they don't, when they get out, they don't even want to pay them their money. And it's in the law that they supposed to be given a certain amount
That's
of
right.
money per month or per year that they've been in there. Then they come out and say, nah, well,
But I'm gonna tell you on that, even on that, like I said, they draw the process out so long that they literally trying to outlive it.
Yeah.
Wait until they die, then they'll try to get all the way. He died now, just give it back to the state. Esau crafty, man. They're some crafty bastards, man.
And get out, and even when they finally get them out, they, like I said, well, we got a limit now. Wait a minute. They gonna give this man $70,000. They crazy. I've been in jail 20, you crazy.
Talk about he been going in talking about what's the woman that said something about Emmett Till?
Yeah, the white lady.
The white lady. She came and said she lied.
Yeah, that's right.
And they didn't do nothing to her.
Nah, they said she was too old to go to jail.
That's right.
Bill Cosby.
Where you get that? Yeah,
That's right.
Shoot,
Ain't
when
no statues of
what age is that? Shoot, I'm gonna go
murder.
kill up some folks. Then at this, what is that? 80? Y'all better get out my way when I'm 80.
But they still, like you say, send old Bill Cosby to jail.
I'm too old to go to jail. Shoot. He old. Boy, that's crazy, man.
Send Bill Cosby. He about 90 years old. She was. Oh, she is.
He got put in pops though. He can go. He good. He got something to comfort him. Let's go to Psalm. Read that again.
Book of Psalms, chapter 94, verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frame mischief by a law?
By the law, man. And let's go to Habakkuk 1 and 4.
Psalms is a heavy book.
Man, it is, man. It just
Brothers and sisters, read it and visualize it through the eyes of us today. He was really warning us about Esau today. Like you say, you seeing these things playing out on, like I just going through how they constantly making laws that don't benefit us. But then they make laws that we can see the disparages between blacks and whites. Like it's statistics on that, man, that's undeniable. Like I say, numbers don't lie, man. People do. Go ahead,
Yeah. Read that.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 1, verse 4. Therefore, the law is slack.
The law is what?
The law is slack.
So y'all think the American laws is all good? They good? They no good for us? Go ahead.
And judgment doeth never go forth.
Judgment don't go forth, man. Not righteous judgment. They got judgment that go forth, but it's very unrighteous, man. They knew what they were doing when they put that in the Constitution. They knew.
They say even with the Constitution, like we say, we know that when they said we the people, they weren't talking about blacks and Hispanics.
Exactly.
It was not talking about us. Like we say, that's why it's clauses that's written in there. Hey, if we get in trouble, hey, that freedom is instantly taken away.
Yeah, and that's what they say. If you freedom, slavery is abolished except what is it? Slavery is abolished except
Until you go to prison. Until you go to jail.
I forgot how it goes. It's written. I got the Constitution in my bag. But
13 Amendment.
yeah, that was added amendment later on that they threw it there. They threw that in there so they can. Hey, we gonna let them niggas free, but we gonna lock them back up and get up this free labor. Same thing they did with the rap industry with the gangster music that came about. Y'all heard about that? The gangster music that they used. They had the meeting. Cause I remember when we were growing up, the music was educational. It was intelligent hoodlum, KRS-One them, and unrighteous teaching. So you're headed for self-destruction on both sides. Even then, all of a sudden, who came? I remember when the NWA came out, stormed us, boy. With boy, we were gangstered up, boy. You couldn't tell us nothing, boy. We hear that song, "Gangster, Gangster." We used to hop in that car, grab them guns, looking for somebody to get. Just because the music got on us like that. But what it was, and they had the meeting with a lot of groups. They had some dudes. They had like, you sign this, you can stay. If not, you got to go out of here. But what they talked about was prison systems, privatizing prison system, and how they was gonna fill them up using the music to brainwash our children to go out and do what they doing today, killing each other and getting into crime. And that's why they have the music. That's why you can go get signed if you're talking about killing everybody. But if you get to talking about something, they ain't signing you. They can talk to, no, that's too educational.
Because the thing you just even without music, you can like say for instance a rapper or a singer or whatever. Now, if they rap about killing a nigga, it's good, but you don't hear no rapper talk about killing no white boy. You don't hear no rapper talk about killing no Chinese person, no another nation. But you can kill and steal and take somebody else's girlfriend and take somebody's wife and do all that stuff in your music, but you can't talk about none of that stuff against no other nation.
Now see, that's the only way we get in the war is when we talk about killing ourselves. We get in the war. But then they label the #1 rapper in the world as who? Eminem. He talked about his goddamn ex-wife and his mama and the damn child. That's how he talked about that for 3 albums. He's hitting the charts every year. He talk, I can't stand my mama. My wife ain't no good. She keep cheating. All that. That's it. But he getting an award. But boy, we don't get nothing. We got to go kill everybody and their mama for them to even look at us. It's like when Denzel been making great movies. But he ain't getting no award till he did that. Hold on, Denzel. Yeah. When he gets killed. They ain't reward us for that type of stuff.
Cases on all y'all niggas.
That's you finished that? Go ahead.
Book of Habakkuk, chapter 1, verse 4. Therefore, the law is slack, and judgment doeth never go forth. For the wicked doeth compass about the righteous.
Now they what?
For the wicked doeth compass about the righteous.
Man, they all around us, man. They all around us. There ain't nothing escaping if you think you're going to get away from them. What you need to be doing is make sure that you into this Bible and into your God. Because you're not going to escape them. I'm going to the woods. Boy, guess who in the woods? You ain't got to worry about the bears. Billy Joe in the woods. Go ahead.
Therefore, wrong judgment proceeded.
What happens?
Therefore, wrong judgment proceeded.
What's been happening to us?
Wrong judgment proceeded.
Wrong judgment, man. Unlawful judgment, man.
Like even how they say now with the AC ACLU. Like we
Mhm.
say, trying to label Israelite groups as what is
That's SPCLA.
SPCLA. Thanks, like I say, even them trying to label us as a hate group. You know, and all we doing is just teaching our people the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And ain't committed no violence, man.
No,
How
no,
you?
no.
We.
Might have choked them Negro out of here and there, but they deserve it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And they put their hands on them first.
Nah, for real.
Let me get this precept real quick. Let me get First Ezra chapter 5, because they do these things by popular persuasion, constantly doing what, breaking up evil reports, kind of having these things blasting on CNN, but they never show the good things that we do in our community.
That's right.
You know, even with brothers from IUIC, other camps, going out doing community service, picking up the trashes in people area, helping out brothers and sisters in our communities that need financial help amongst the congregation. They never show the good things though. Read this out. First Ezra chapter 5 and verse 71. Saying the same thing we read in Ezra chapter 4 verse 3.
Book of First Ezra, chapter 5, verse 71. We ourselves alone will build unto the Lord of Israel, according as Cyrus, the king of the Persians, hath commanded it.
Read on out.
But the heathen of the land, lying heavy upon the inhabitants of Judea,
But the heathen of the land. Read on out.
in holding them straight, hinder their building.
And that's what they constantly are trying to do by what? By bringing up these evil reports. They're trying to do what? Hinder the building.
Mm-hmm.
No, to stop it to where, guess what? We cannot even go out there and teach no more. You know, but guess what? The Most High God is making a way for us to do
Yeah,
those
that's
things.
exactly what he's doing, man. That's what I was reading there. I forgot where I read that, but he said he's stopping them from doing that. Right now, believe me, if it weren't for the Most High right now, he had just took his hand off of it.
That's right.
They be on us. They be on us like, boy, they be on us right now.
And they still trying to do
Yeah,
it.
they trying to, but they can't get past it right now. They can't get past the Most High. He runs it.
So we know it's a plot to stop the building. Like I said, that's why brothers and sisters must endure in this fight, man, because you can't give in to political statements or whatever Esau is trying to do to stop this thing, man. We on the forefront of this. If we don't be out there teaching our people who they are, how we going to wake up the 144,000 and the 1/3 of the elect? Read on, Doc.
Verse 73. And by their secret plot.
Read that again, Doc.
And by their secret
The
plot.
secret plot is going into what? COINTELPRO. You know, these things been going on since what? Since the time of Edgar Hoover. Even before then, man. Read on, Doc.
And popular persuasion.
And popular persuasion. The popular persuasions go through what? CNN, Fox News, even some of our channels, man. You even have our own people. We out there telling our people to marry their wives, to take care of their children. Oh, these brothers out here spitting black hate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, man. This stuff is utter madness, man. Read on, Doc.
In commotions. They hindered the finishing of the building all the time that King Cyrus lived.
So even during that time, they were stopping us from, guess what, doing the work of the Lord. So you don't think that these things is coming back around again? They know the prophecies, man. Like I said, that's why Planned Parenthood is in there. They trying to stop the 144,000 from waking up. Read on out.
So they were hindered from building for the space of 2 years.
And guess what? It was so heavy, they stopped them from building a wall and a temple 2 whole years, man. Y'all imagine that. Imagine right now, they literally done stopped us from going out there on the streets. Come on, man. You know how many our people just fall backwards and backslide, man?
Because that's building the temple.
That's right.
When we out there teaching, when y'all
right.
out there going to people and telling them about the truth, you building the temple.
That's right. That's exactly what we doing. Read on, Doc.
Until the reign of Darius.
So they did that from the time of Cyrus until the time of Darius. Go ahead, Doc.
Let's go to Deuteronomy 33:29. Yeah, that's what I was telling y'all. That's the same as in Ezra. That's chapter 5.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, verse 29. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people, saved by the Lord.
Who?
Saved by the Lord,
Uh-huh.
the shield of thy help. and who is the sword of thy excellency. And thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee.
They what?
And thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee.
Yeah, they lied on you. They gonna be found out. Because that's all they do on us, man. Think about it. When you see the news, what happened? It don't matter what you did. If you done got involved in something, they go through all your background history and try to make you have to be the most villainized person in the world. It's like that, what's that dude's name? With his foot on the man, the knee on the neck. Yeah. It's a man killed this man. Why is you in the background of that man instead of the one who did the killing? It don't matter what side of the spectrum we on. The one that's getting killed or the one that's doing the killing. They're going to give a terrible background on no matter what it is. Discredit you.
And guess what? But on the flip side, if there's another nation, what they do for them? They going to show the prom king picture. They show the best picture that they can get for them. But if it's us, it's going to be a mugshot, man. Every single time.
Exactly, yeah. Word, finish it out.
And thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places.
And thou shalt tread upon their high places. They coming. Well, they here. Let's go to Judah chapter 7 and 19. Judah in the Apocrypha. That's a woman in Israel that was hard. Well, she was cold with it. I don't know if y'all ever read her, but she wasn't no joke. As with a lot of these people that's these Bible school things. None of them was jokes. 7 and 19.
Book of Judah, chapter 7, verse 19. Then the children of Israel cried unto the Lord their God, because their heart failed. For all their enemies had compassed them round about, and there was no way to escape out from among them.
He said, man, like I said, all our enemies is all these nations in America. The great melting pot.
Verse 20.
I didn't need that one. I was still speaking, but no, that's all I needed. You messed me up right there. Let's go to Jeremiah 2 and 8.
And like I said, these are great sisters for the example because they did what? They put in the work for their nation, man. These are always sisters that sisters should look up to. Like I say, whatever talents the Most High God is giving a sister, you want to make sure that you're using those things for your nation. Profitable talents.
There we go. Where you want to start at? Judah. Yeah, that's Jeremiah 2. Yes, go ahead and 7.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 7. And they brought you into a plentiful country to eat the fruit thereof and the goodness thereof. But when ye entered, ye defiled my land.
What?
Ye defiled my land and made mine heritage an abomination.
Made my heritage an abomination. That's us doing that, man. Why do we do that? Because we just falling for everything America got to offer. Instead of following our God, whatever they told us, whatever they taught us, we do it. We do it.
You don't even fight back.
Online, just doing nothing too, just TikTok.
Let me get a precept right quick. Go to 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel.
That's what they be doing, TikTok.
2 Kings 18. 2 Kings? Yeah. Chapter 18, verse 28. When we just do it, we just listen to them. They say it and we do it. And then the main people they prey on is what? The lower class, which is us. We ain't got nothing. We ain't got no dog in the fight. What we gonna do anyway, right? Might as well. Like Craig and smoking. Craig wasn't no damn smoker. What was Craig said? Might as well. Shit, I done got 5.
They ain't doing
I
nothing.
ain't got anything. I ain't got no fighting dog. Ain't dog in this fighting away.
And get what happened to him? He got caught in
And
crossfire
got
with
caught
you.
up in it.
Mm-hmm.
Read this. 18 and 28. Second King.
No, so what's the name?
Oh, Rob Shaker.
Rob Shake. Okay.
The book of Second
Rob
Kings.
Shakat. So like,
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 18, verse 28. Then Rabshakeh stood and cried with a loud voice in the Jews' language, and spake, saying, Hear the word of the great king, the king of Assyria.
hear the word of the great king of Assyria is, but he's talking to the Jews, right? Hear the great words of the king of Assyria, right? Read on.
Thus said the king, Let not Hezekiah deceive you.
Then that's what they do. They pray on us. Don't let Hezekiah deceive you now.
Mm-hmm.
What? How would Hezekiah deceive him? Saying what?
For he shall not be able to deliver you out of his hand.
Don't listen to the prophet of the Most High God. Now,
That's exactly what it's saying.
now go the king. You know these are the king right here. We've been in this captivity for a while, and ain't nobody been able to take him out our hand. Don't listen to him lie to you, right? Read
Don't
on.
listen to them at them corners. That's
right.
what they tell you.
I was just gonna say that's the same thing they do to our people on the streets, man. Don't listen to them Negroes. That Rob Shakai, that's going into the pastor.
Mm-hmm.
That's going into the church. Don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about because they've been deceived by what the world gives them. Read 29 again.
Thus said the king, Let not Hezekiah deceive you,
Mm-hmm.
for he shall not be able to deliver you out of his hand.
Read on.
Neither let Hezekiah make you trust in the Lord.
Man, that's him. Neither let Hezekiah make you trust in the Lord. They just tell us something and we go with it. Don't trust in that. Don't trust in that father they out there teaching y'all. Don't trust in that God is black, even though it's coming straight out of the Bible. Don't trust in that Christ is black, even though it's so-called black straight out of the Bible. Don't trust in that we got to keep laws, even though it's straight out of the Bible. No, don't let them deceive you on that. That's a lie.
That's right.
Right? Read on.
Saying, The Lord will surely deliver us.
He go deceive you talking about the Lord gonna really come fight for y'all. Like he really gonna fight for y'all. Y'all been in captivity after captivity after captivity. Don't let him deceive you, man. Just go on and get down with what we got going, right? You know what I'm saying? Do what you want to do. We got you. Read on.
In this city shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of Assyria.
And then he said, well, then you won't be delivered into the hand of Assyria. We'll be with you. It's like we won, right? We're a team. We're a partner. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want. But these are how they deceive, and this is the main part of how they deceived our people today.
That's how we are. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go back to Jeremiah 2 and 8. Seven.
We ready, so.
We finished? Yeah, we did finish. 8 is what I need too.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 8.
Let's talk about these guys.
The priest said not, Where is the Lord?
Mm-hmm.
And they that handle the law knew me not.
Mm-hmm.
The pastors also transgressed against me, and the prophets prophesied by Baal,
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
and walk after things that do not profit.
And that's what these churches got us going right now, man. Got you worshiping Baal. That's what hey, Caesar boys here. And they sitting right up there prophesying number lies. But hey, if you just put $100 in that pot, the Lord gonna bless you. Tomorrow you gonna get that house. That mother been still living in that goddamn apartment. They ain't even went from 1 bedroom to 2 bedroom.
I want to know why all these people getting these blessings from our Peter Papa. That's what I want to know.
No doubt.
I got the house, got the car, got to check what that word is at, because y'all ain't doing no damn laws. So what's really going on? You know what I'm saying? I just want to know, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
But like I said, man, our pastors, the people they got over us, they ain't leading us nowhere, man, to a burning pit. Like even Martin Luther King was saying, I'm afraid I left my people to a burning house.
Right now.
Let's say them boys up there they say, hey man, I'm gonna holler at y'all later, man. Holstein finna come on. Damn.
12 and 10. Let's go to 12 and 10. Stay in the same book.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 12, verse 10. Many pastors have destroyed my vineyard.
Hold on. Go to 9 first. Read 9.
Verse 9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird.
Mm-hmm.
The birds round about are against her.
Mm-hmm.
Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field.
Mm-hmm.
Come to devour.
That's what they doing. They coming around and they devouring our heritage like a summer gun. I'm telling you, boy, like I said, boy, watch. Hey, in about 20 years, y'all gonna be looking at them old Tupac albums. He gonna be on there just a white boy. He be like, what? All eyes on me. Go ahead.
Many pastors have destroyed my vineyard. They have trodden my portion underfoot.
Mm-hmm.
They have made my pleasant portion a desolate wilderness.
They what?
They have made my pleasant portion a desolate wilderness.
Go to back at the top of the 10 and read that slowly.
Many pastors have destroyed my vineyard.
Mm-hmm.
They have trodden my portion underfoot.
What if they got? Ain't that pastor doing that right now in our communities? Destroying God's vineyards, man. Tearing them people apart, but have them believing, running up and down. One of the people been in them churches for years, man, and ain't accomplished nothing.
And what is the portion that's been destroyed? Precept.
Deuteronomy 32.
We read it. We gonna pull it.
Deuteronomy 32.
Deuteronomy 32 and 7.
Sirach 17.
Sirach 17:17. You should be having them precepts beside it. Sirach 17:17, underlined portion. Need to be in your precepts. So when these things, like you say, this is what brothers got to fail to realize. Part of our heritage. That's the reason why we don't speak Hebrew and all that. Every letter of that alphabet means something, right? From our name all the way to the things that we speak on, our laws, everything means something.
Mm-hmm.
So when you reading the Bible, like it's speaking, the portion. If you jump up to verse 7, it's talking about dearly beloved. All these things mean something. That's what the pastors took away from our understanding of the Bible.
Yeah.
That things mean something in the Bible. When you can take away the meaning of something, you can change it and put whatever you want into it, and you can try to make people dance to the music.
And that's why I say, when y'all reading, I was just telling my wife that, man, when y'all read, man, you're supposed to, don't just pass by, because I know how we read. You just go. Don't even really understand some of the things you read, and sometimes you don't understand the word. That's why sometimes it takes me a long time to read a page, because when I don't know a word, I got to stop. I need to go to the dictionary. I got to go find out what this is, pull out the strong. So, okay, that's what that's talking about. That's what we need to start doing when we study. We need to know what it's saying. Don't just read by it, because you'll miss the whole picture because you just read it. And then you'll say, I read the whole Bible. Yeah, you did, but you didn't even think, you didn't even comprehend nothing that what you was reading, because you just read it. You didn't look at it and examine it, study it. You just read it. And that's what our people do. I read the Bible 4 times. I see. Then you ask them questions about the Bible, they dumb than a mug about it. But Adam ate an apple. I thought you read the Bible 4 times. I ain't never seen an apple in there. But that's what they'll tell you. Go ahead.
Verse 11.
No, that's all I needed. Let's go. Hit that video, man. Somebody,
Yeah, go ahead.
What else is a pastor cut scripture?
Jeremiah 14:14. Micah 2:11.
Micah 2:11, Jeremiah. What else y'all got?
Jeremiah 14:14, Jeremiah 23:16, Ezekiel 13.
What else y'all got?
You seem to be
As a
busted
result
too.
of the COINTELPRO, the FBI's clandestine series of projects intended to bring American activism to its knees. But what was COINTELPRO?
Now, you have to watch the words. They're talking about American activism. Come on, man. Who's the only people that was only active out there in the streets? You have to watch that wordplay because they try to use it in a way to be all inclusive, but we know this is talking about Black America.
and they're gonna get into that because it's gonna start
Bro,
with
really?
communists.
When did it happen? Who were its targets? And what terrifying illegal methods were employed under its purview? There's only one way to find out. But be warned, by the time this video is over, the FBI won't seem like the brave crime stoppers the movies often paint them as. Under COINTELPRO, which stands for Counterintelligence Program, they were responsible for everything from psychological warfare to cold-blooded murder, all committed against mostly non-violent individuals whose greatest crime was
Mostly
questioning the
non-violent.
system. Just how far the system will go to silence these questions will alarm and terrify you. And at the heart of it all was FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover, who opened a nightmarish Pandora's box of government overreach and illegal domestic espionage. The year was 1956, and the Red Scare is in full swing. You don't need to be an expert in American political history to know that mid-1950s America was terrified of communism. The threat of the bomb loomed large over American psyches, and Soviet spies and sleeper agents seemed to lurk in every shadow. Russia and the West were fighting a culture war, and the U.S. was scared it was losing. When someone is afraid and backed into a corner, there's almost nothing they won't do to protect themselves, whether the initial fear is justified or not. The U.S. needed bold strategies to fight the perceived communist threat growing within their own borders, and J. Edgar Hoover was on the case. He gave his underlings a sweeping directive to expose, disrupt, misdirect, discredit, or otherwise neutralize any political groups deemed too subversive for the FBI's liking.
Y'all hear that? Discredit. The same thing the Bible said they do to us. They gonna bring out lies on you, boy. You get crosshairs of that government, boy. They gonna bring out the lies. It don't matter if it's. They gonna make you look horrible.
And they go into what we read, popular persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get the public's, trying to scrutinize you in the public's opinion, to try to get numbers onto their side. Now we got a cause to kind of bring up anything that we want on you.
Propaganda.
That's right.
And if you notice during the civil rights movement, you said,
I just said, if you're not down with what they down with,
yeah, they don't want you around. And if you notice during the civil rights movement, just because a lot of the blacks had looked at socialism, because socialism means like everything be split up evenly. Y'all know what socialism, right? Which is what the communists govern. Communism, which is what they had. If you notice when they looked it up, remember they always were calling them communists. So they use a word to label you that first of all they create society to hate that word.
right.
Then once they hate it, so when you get out of line, they call you that. That's like there they got the word homophobic.
Yeah.
So anytime you say something about gays, he homophobic. Everybody be like, "Ooh, is he?" Like, yeah, I am. What's wrong with that? And we've been like this. You see what I'm saying? So they always been doing this. AMO, they've been doing this every time. They'll find that word, and whenever you get a line, they'll label you. And everybody they don't even think about it. They just look, he is. And ain't nothing wrong with what he just did, though. But they use propaganda and to throw that tag on you. Go ahead.
Hoover had the tacit permission of President Eisenhower and soon after President Kennedy, and Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy personally signed off on a number of covert projects under the COINTELPRO banner. Of course, while every sinister government project requires some enabling bureaucrats to sign all the permission slips, there always needs to be some trigger men willing to get their hands dirty and get the dastardly job done. In this case, we have William C. Sullivan, director of the FBI's domestic intelligence operations.
Yeah, he's sitting behind
Sullivan's
a
first
different
target
gun,
was the
huh?
Communist Party of America, who, on name alone, were obviously no friends of the Cold War FBI. Some of the techniques used by the FBI to destroy the Communist Party from the inside, including having agents sending threatening anonymous phone calls, having the IRS constantly audit them, and sending in forged documents to sow dissent among the
Forged
party's
documents.
ranks.
Go one more
You'll have
part.
to notice that this is a running
And
theme
then-
among the
What do y'all think they do? Why do you think all of a sudden, anytime they need somebody out, what happens to them? Tax fraud, all of us out of nowhere. You mean to tell me, hold on, y'all ain't saying nothing until he come into the spotlight? Because there's been people that had money for years that didn't pay their taxes, if that's the case. But how you let them go all the way right there? But right when this comes to something controversial, now all of a sudden, we're taking all your money because you owe back taxes. The same way they did with Ye. Ye been making money. And you don't become a billionaire. You mean to tell me you become a billionaire? Y'all never knew if he paid taxes or not. Then as soon as he get all of a sudden, overnight, $1 billion to $400 million. Oh, you didn't pay this.
6 billion to 400 million.
Overnight. That's what they do. And that's the same thing they've been doing. This ain't nothing new. And what's so bad about it, they learn from their history. They learn how to stay in control. They went and learned in the Bible too, the Greeks, the Babylonians, the Egyptians. They've learned everything. That's all we got to do is go learn how we get back in power and use what we supposed to be doing. Go ahead.
COINTELPRO projects, using psychological warfare tactics to turn groups against each other and alienate their members. To this end, literally nothing was off the table. FBI agents infiltrated meetings and posing as members to cause conflict, intelligence gathering for blackmail and extortion, and even spreading rumors to increase the tension. Though compared to just how horrific and violent their methods would later become, some blackmail and rumor spreading is pretty quaint. While the Communist Party was a perfect training ground for refining their domestic espionage techniques, the activities that would make COINTELPRO infamous were perpetrated against civil rights groups, starting in the late 50s
Not
and
civil rights
continuing
groups.
through the 60s. Dr. T.R.M. Howard, a prominent black surgeon, entrepreneur, and civil rights leader, was critical of the FBI's inaction on a number of infamous hate crimes, including the murders of Emmett Till and George Washington Lee. This prompted Hoover to turn the dangerous attentions of Sullivan and his FBI cronies to black civil rights groups, starting with the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, on the grounds that they were supposedly hotbeds of subversive communist activity. The Southern Christian Leadership Conference was just the tip of the iceberg, though. During their 15-year heyday, COINTELPRO would infiltrate and attack the Black Panther Party, anti-Vietnam War organizers, feminist groups, environmentalist and animal rights groups, the Nation of Islam, the Young Lords Puerto Rico Independence Group, and the American Indian Movement. In their very minor defense, they also did take on the Ku Klux Klan. But when you need to compare...
So you seeing all these lists of groups, you don't think that you have agents even in here among us?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Exactly.
you have to beware of those things, brethren, false brethren crept in unawares.
And that's the problem. They got I bet you it's a big problem, because first of all, the Most High God is doing all this stuff, and it's all around. Everybody, everywhere is doing these things, and I mean, they can't really get in because it's like if we was a one big group, they'd be all there. We'd probably be knocked down as a nation right now. That's why the Most High doing what He's doing, having these little camps all over.
Right. You got to be aware of them brothers. One brother been in 15
Yeah,
camps.
you ain't lying. You ain't
Boy, you
lying.
ain't never lying, man.
You ain't lying.
Boy.
I pray y'all stay stable, man. I ain't gonna even lie, man. You make a brother call them out on that side,
All
man.
time. Hey, you know, all time.
For real.
Brother been 15 camps. How you been in everybody camp, bro?
Go
Hey,
ahead.
that's crazy.
I'm gonna have to cut.
yourself to the plan to have moral high ground, you're not doing well. Perhaps their most infamous victims were two of the most well-known civil rights leaders in American history, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. It all gets a whole lot worse from here. In 1963, Dr. King gave his iconic I Have a Dream speech during the March on Washington. While generations of people across the world were touched and inspired by this incredible piece of history, the FBI were terrified. Dr. King was dreaming too big for their liking, and they wanted to...
Why was they terrified? Because you see this one black man that has the power to kind of galvanize black America, so-called, but really Israelites. And then ultimately we know why they killed him because hey,
So
word started getting to him.
We gonna bring that out after this video. I'm gonna bring
Right.
y'all out because you know the FBI had got somebody went in and stole the files, and they had brought out these files and they got a few of them out. The ones that then the American had to come out and say, hey, the FBI did do it. But when the files that they had, they released the rest of them that wasn't stolen. They was all blacked out. It was just them files, when you look at the paper black, and they done went back and blacked it all out. But I do have the goals of the COINTELPRO that they had from 1 to 5, and I'm gonna read that after we finish this video.
Put him in his place, that place being 6 feet below the ground. Hoover ordered Sullivan to turn his attention to discrediting and destroying King and the movement he'd come to represent. Sullivan subsequently released a horrifically racist statement. In the light of King's powerful demagogic speech, we must mark him now, if we've not done so before, as the most dangerous Negro of the future in this nation from the standpoint of communism, the Negro and national security. The
Martin Luther
espionage
King dangerous.
began.
But you
King's
get hit upside the
phone
head
hotel
with rocks
rooms
and
were
let dogs bite
King's phones were
but he
tapped.
dangerous.
The FBI was listening intently to his every word for blackmail material that they could use to silence King. You're probably asking, silence him? As in pressure him into discontinuing activism and renouncing his beliefs? To which we'd answer, no. They wanted Dr. King to kill himself. In 1964, after years of collecting audio evidence of Dr. King's marital affairs, King was sent a suicide package 2 days before he was supposed to collect his Nobel Peace Prize. The package included copies of the incriminating audio, as well as a truly horrifying letter. The letter, while anonymous, is believed to some to have been written by Sullivan himself. It's a verbally abusive speech that opens with King. In view of your low-grade, abnormal personal behavior, I will not dignify your name with either a Mr. or Reverend or a Doctor, and your last name calls to mind only the type of king such as King Henry VIII, and his countless acts of adultery and immoral conduct lower than that of a beast.
Hold
The
on.
letter almost
Okay.
reads like
Anybody know who King Henry VIII is? Do y'all know? Listen, King Henry VIII is actually the dude who started he was a king of England when he started the England church. He broke away from the Catholic church so he can have power to change the religion so he can go and kill his wives and get divorced from his other wives. He had like 8 wives. He killed about 4 of them in public. Just, I don't like when you did that. Bad, kill him. So he wanted to marry another one. And the church wouldn't let him, so he would kill the other one or have her something. You did this, throw him in jail so he can get out. Then when the church wouldn't give it to him, so he started the Church of England. That's what y'all know today is the Church of England. He started the Church of England so they could come up with their new doctrine to allow him to get out of a marriage. And that's what they're comparing Dr. Martin Luther King to. That's what's crazy. And that's why I had to bring that out before to let y'all know what they're trying to say. They're trying to give him like that title. And that guy, in fact, whenever y'all get a chance, I think it's on Netflix, the Tudors. The Tudors. Tutors, whatever the name is.
Sitcom.
No. Yeah, is that sitcom?
Yeah.
I know it's
TV show.
the series. Look at that. And that's about King Henry VIII. And that's what they trying to compare this man to.
Their brothers and sisters like history, they have them all on there, even going into the Beaujears.
Yeah.
All those different types
Okay,
of
that's all I
rich
watch
families.
anyway. So go ahead.
you've ever seen, complete with a plethora of personal insults and spelling errors. And much like an internet troll with a serious mean streak, the letter ends by attempting to pressure Dr. King into committing suicide. It reads, King, there is only one thing left for you to do. You know what it is. You have just 34 days in which to do. This exact number has been selected for a specific reason, and it has a definite practical significance. You are done. There is but one way out for you. You better take it before your filthy, abnormal, fraudulent self is bared to the nation. While for legal reasons they stop just short of saying straight up, kill yourself or we'll humiliate you, the implications are crystal clear. When King didn't give in and take his own life, Cartha DeLoach, the FBI assistant director at the time, began leaking the incriminating evidence to every news outlet imaginable. They were ruthless in their willingness to destroy reputations and lives to achieve their goals. But things were going to get a whole lot worse. While they were trying to manipulate Dr. King into taking his own life, the FBI were stoking the fires of tension among the Nation of Islam and the Organization of Afro-American Unity. both known for their association with civil rights leader El-Hajj Malik el-Shabazz, better known as Malcolm X. Through COINTELPRO, the FBI widened the rift between Malcolm X and Elijah Muhammad, the leader of the Nation of Islam, after a sustained harassment campaign involving infiltration.
And that's another thing. Even as you seeing the tactics on them trying to do those things, I'll praise to the Most High God that we do have separate camps. But brothers got to make sure that you don't let that, even on a different doctrine, you bring even more division between them. Remember, and I like what Gorilla Hebrew said, brother from Sakari, the leader from Sakari. Like we said, we're unified in the work that we do, trying to raise up the Israelites. That's what we're unified in. We may have different doctrines on here, we may have different doctrines on there, but we unified in the work. And that one come and go. So brothers, stick to that until Christ come back. Don't let them try to come to you and try to get you to undermine other brothers in other camps.
What's that? That's not Jesus is a word he used to say all the time.
That's right.
He would be in there and he'll get you to say something, and then the first thing he say is,
"What's the Kyrie do
what's
this?"
name them don't say that. They
don't
say
this. Brothers got to be quick
and then if
on
you
that.
just get to getting into that, he'd be like, well, that's what they do. Okay. And going on about your business, it messes him up. It messed him up when we didn't attack. We didn't fall for it. But those are the tactics that they be trying to use. Go ahead.
Rumor mongering, and the artificial elevation of conflict, the disagreements of Malcolm X and Muhammad turned deadly, and Malcolm X was assassinated by some Nation of Islam gunmen. While the FBI denied direct involvement in the assassination, there's extremely credible evidence that their involvement in exacerbating the conflict led to the murder. As the 1960s drew on, the FBI intensified its COINTELPRO operations against prominent civil rights groups, Dr. King and his associates in particular. This project was known as COINTELPRO Black Hate. According to a 1968 FBI memo, they feared that Martin Luther King Jr. was becoming a kind of messiah figure and would unite the various disparate civil rights groups into a force that could truly be reckoned with. If Dr. King ever decided to reject nonviolence and lead to an armed revolt, they would be in serious trouble. King was public enemy number one, but prominent members of groups like the Black Panthers weren't far behind. All of them had to go. The FBI concluded with numerous police departments in cities with considerable Black Panther presences, including San Diego, Los Angeles.
And we know a lot of times that is a lie. Like we're saying with them trying to, you think, like you say, you let them get bit by dogs all this time only to gather, knowing that we don't have no military might. You know, what they feared is us coming together, starting to do what keep God's commandments. Right?
And
that's the thing that they feared.
And if you see what the video said, he became a Messiah figure. They got a fear of the Messiah coming back, and they know what's finna go on.
Wait till we read this. We're finna read this next. I'm gonna show you this is what they thought.
San Francisco, Oakland, Philadelphia, and Chicago. They would coordinate raids into the homes of Black Panther members without warrants, during which many of said members were shot dead by police. One particularly infamous example is the assassination of Chicago Black Panther Party chairman Fred Hampton. On December 4th, 1969, Hampton was drugged and incapacitated by deep cover FBI infiltrator William O'Neill. A Chicago PD tactical unit then entered his home at the FBI's behest and murdered Hampton in his bed in cold blood. No crime was too cruel and no tactic was too underhanded for COINTELPRO. With the help of colluding police departments, the FBI.
So, why is the FBI can get away doing all of this stuff and nobody says nothing? No public, guess what? But the so-called feminism and the so-called LGBTQMF people and all the people that got all the activists and all, nobody says nothing against it. Nobody got no problem. So guess what? Nobody got no problem against it. But guess what? In every Israelite group, guess what they do? They got, look, you wake up, you start wearing them fridges, your name's on the list.
Yes.
So don't think that you ain't, man. Just like what he had to tell Esther.
Yeah, don't
Mordecai,
think you're gonna escape.
Don't think,
Don't
hey,
think the king can go just because you do.
just because you get up, guess what, man? You still, hey, you still Israelite, man. We can't forget it. So like Shaq Barker, you can try to forget it. Just like Shaq said, I can shalom you. Yeah, you better shalom something. You better be keeping these commandments. Don't think they can't get you. You wake up, start getting, guess what, from the smallest child to guess what, to the baby being born, all the way to the eldest person. Everybody's name is on the list, man.
And that's going into that Matthew chapter 24, verse 9. It says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my sake. So we know even in this truth, it's going to take a turn for the worse, going into Jacob's trouble, but it'll be taken. Maybe leaders and so forth out of this camp. We say, do you pray? Who's your God? Like I said, who is Yahweh? Who is the Messiah that you deem coming back to take over the world? They'll be doing these things, same thing, just different type of scenarios.
And like you had said about how did they get away with it? They did what the Bible say. Who can see me?
That's right.
Who can see me? They come in and do some things, and everybody know they did it, but you be like, well, I can't prove nothing. You can't prove the 911 plane. What we done with, they wasn't no American Airlines, no Southwest or nothing, but things happen. The government involved. No, well, you can't prove it. Like, who can see me? What the Bible say? Exactly what they do now. Go ahead, Al.
I was able to launch a brutal harassment campaign against figures in the world of leftist politics and civil rights. Specific individuals like Elmer Geronimo Pratt, a Black Panther Party leader, were accused of crimes they didn't commit and arrested on false pretenses. Evidence was falsified, witnesses were intimidated, and legality was twisted to serve whatever purpose the FBI wanted it to. Pratt spent 27 years in jail for a fallacious murder charge just because he was a member of the Panthers. Members of the KKK, like Gary Thomas Rowe, were kept on the FBI payroll as informants while still committing atrocities like the 16th Street Baptist
payroll.
And
if they had the KKK on the same group as the Black Panther, they had them, y'all we've seen it's the same list. So how is the KKK on their payroll? It don't make sense. All these things that come up, they can play both sides, man, and people, it's like there's nothing to be said.
And they just put that KKK on that list just to make it look like we are doing something. But yeah, y'all are doing something. You're using them to come at us, paying them.
And guess what? Why you think they can destroy Black Wall Street and nobody be saying nothing? They was doing the first drive-bys. They was literally doing drive-bys in Black Wall Street. Bombing. Guess what? They was bombing. They was shooting. They was doing everything. You see niggas on the street at night, they was bombing because they wanted to stop the business. Stop us from making money. Stop us from prospering. It's all about stopping us from prospering. If it's any kind of way we're going to prosper, we're going to shut that thing down, man.
And they only got one building. We went to that place. One church left. That's the only thing survived. One church.
It's in there teaching Christianity.
Guess what? We was all hyped. We were teaching. We were hyped. Everybody went out there, man.
We got sad, boy. It just...
And everybody got back on the thing, didn't talk for 30 minutes, man. We just sitting up here just looking.
Because you look at the whole pictures and you see all the names and all that stuff, and they just had it's a big old area, and all of a sudden it's just this the only thing left. This building, one, and this old church. I'm talking about the old man. It got me with
this wasn't an isolated incident. Under COINTELPRO, it was clear that the FBI preferred hardline white supremacist groups to black liberation movements. They funded and supported former members of the 1960s far-right group the Minutemen in their goal to create this secret army organization, essentially a militant terrorist cell that fought against civil rights groups with tactics of intimidation and outright violence. Hundreds, if not thousands, of potential enemies of the FBI were spied on with everything from wiretaps to direct stalking techniques. They even teamed up with the CIA in 1967 as part of their own domestic spying project, Operation Chaos. The COINTELPRO reign of terror would consume the whole decade, a decade mostly known for flower power, free love, and imported British rock. The whole program was so sprawling that even figures like James Baldwin, Ernest Hemingway, and Muhammad Ali were on their list of enemies. Incidentally, Muhammad Ali ended up being a major force in the end of the COINTELPRO operations, as his 1971 fight with Joe Frazier acted as a form of cover, while activist group Citizens Commission to investigate the FBI broke into an FBI field office in Pennsylvania. The group stole critical files on the COINTELPRO operations and blew the lid on the whole sordid affair.
Man, why do you think
considerable scandals and shame for the FBI and the public eye?
Why do y'all think? Just think about how there's so many boxers that we've seen. Name another person that had that thing like Muhammad Ali that could not move and he was shaking. You don't see no boxers really doing that, man. Man, look, they destroyed that man.
They injected that man with that thing, man.
They destroyed that man, man.
Yeah, all those boxers you done seen, and he just, and then they say he cut it from boxing.
No,
I seen a lot of boxers. How come ain't none of the rest of them got it?
that's right. I'm talking about, 'cause that's what these questions had to be explained. But guess what? They ain't gonna explain nothing. We give a damn what y'all niggas think, man. We're gonna keep on doing it. That's why Templars, brothers, sisters, keep the damn commandments, man. Right?
Within a year, J. Edgar Hoover had announced that centralized COINTELPRO operations were officially over. And while the FBI has hardly been squeaky clean since, the dissolution of the centralized COINTELPRO operations was an undeniable win for anyone who likes the idea of living in a truly free country. Of course, only a fraction of the files were stolen, and many of the files subsequently released by the FBI have been heavily altered and redacted. The fact is, we will never know the full extent of the FBI's sinister activities between 1956 and 1971. But what we do know is that the FBI activities under the COINTELPRO umbrella were some of the most terrifying and illegal in American history. Groups who were simply exercising their quintessentially American First Amendment rights were attacked, defamed, arrested, and dissolved. And the people who formed these groups were at best threatened and manipulated, and at worst murdered and pressured towards suicide. We wish we could give you a more comforting ending, but instead, we'll leave you with two questions. What are the chances that COINTELPRO was an isolated incident? And what else have the FBI done that we don't even know about? Check out FBI's most violent, most wanted of all time, and FBI versus CIA. How do they compare? For more
Boy, that's why we try to tell you, brother, they change your doctrine, wink twice, brother. Let us know. God, dang.
Now, I'm gonna read this. Is gonna be the last thing we go through today. But the files that they had stole, or they took from the officers. This is huh? You wanna read it? This first is give the title, then start down at the goals right there.
This is social history for every classroom. The FBI sets goals for COINTELPRO. Goals for maximum effectiveness of the counterintelligence program to prevent wasted effort. Long-range goals are being set.
This was goal number one. This is what this is. That first goal that they had. Go ahead.
Prevent the coalition of militant black nationalist groups. In unity there is strength. Truism that is no less valid for all its triteness. An effective coalition of black nationalist groups might be the first step toward a real black revolutionary army in America. The beginning of a true black revolutionary. Number two, prevent the rise of a Messiah who could
Read that again.
prevent the rise of a Messiah.
Remember they was talking about, now they know it's a Messiah gonna be coming back to save us, but they don't know exactly how it goes. So they making sure none of y'all. That's why he was talking about the killing the black community with the what's that the Planned Parenthood, because they trying to make sure the 144,000 don't rise. They like I said. They know more about you than you know yourself. They know more about you than a lot of us know about each other now because we started to read the Bible. But the majority of it, the masses of it, we don't know about us.
And how do they know that? Even going back to Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 2 and 3. They searched those things. You didn't think they'd look up the history of when we was in Egypt on how they did what? Kill the firstborn. Yeah. Keep the women. Even on how they got slick today. Guess what? We put little programs in there. We're killing them off, but we won't let them know that. Mm-hmm. Like we said, that's why you have Planned Parenthood.
That's why you still got that pyramid and on the back of that dollar.
That's right. You see all these things.
Good.
It says prevent the rise of a Messiah who could unify and electrify the militant black novelist movement. Malcolm X might have been such a Messiah. He is the martyr of the movement today. Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, and Elijah Muhammad all aspire to this position. Elijah Muhammad is less of a threat because of his age.
See, hold on. They got him They got him in category. They got him in rankings. Hold on. He old. He gonna, he lying to die trying to do this. Go ahead.
King could be a very real contender for
Watch
this
what they
position.
say about this now.
Should he abandon his supposed obedience to white liberal doctrines?
Now listen, read that again.
King could be a very real contender for this position. should he abandon his supposed obedience to white liberal doctrine?
So that's why they allowed King.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Hashtag non-violence.
Non-violent. That's why they allowed King to be there for a while, because of the fact that he kept the black community from doing any kind of attacking.
And
So
guess,
that's why they was jumping on his side here, but then they would get a go against Malcolm, because Malcolm was by any means necessary. So they was playing sides. Then they was playing them against each other. Man, they doing
why you with that? And guess what? And that goes into the slave quarters. Just like if the slaves get riled up, guess what they do? They send the pass over there.
Mm-hmm.
Just now, who they got the modern Al Sharpton and stuff like that. Niggas get acting a fool, send them over there, man. Send NAACP over there, right? To calm the niggas down.
Yeah.
Non-violence and embrace black nationalism. Carmichael has the necessary charisma to be the real threat in this way. Number 3, prevent violence on the part of black nationalist groups. This is of primary importance and is, of course, a goal of our investigative activity. It should be also a goal of the counterintelligence program to pinpoint potential troublemakers and neutralize them before they exercise their potential for violence. Number 4, prevent militant black nationalist groups and leaders from gaining respectability. And hey, that's key right there, because guess what? We can sway popular persuasion too.
Exactly.
And we're doing that with what? With the scriptures, with the word of the Lord.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, because when I see March down there with all them, y'all don't think man, I promise you, every FBI agency in America is looking at that. Like, man, hold on, what is going on? The ones that didn't know, now they know. And then the way they march, all discipline. A disciplined nigga, boy, that's scared of him, man.
We don't put false accusations on brothers. But even with Charleston White saying that's one of the easiest things to do, Negro, you a damn lie.
Well, you put something together.
That's one of the hardest things to do.
The hardest thing to do.
Negroes together, man.
On one common goal, that's hard as hell, man.
That's why they made sure it wasn't even gonna happen. And he talking about it's easy. First of all, your government is against that happening. So it's not gonna be easy, because you hear what they said, how ruthless they are. The ones say, hey, we'll kill whatever. If you get out of line, we'll kill. But that's what we gotta be at.
And that's
ready to die for this truth.
And that's how we see us gaining respectability, because now you see Edomites like, yeah, they are the real Jews.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, it's undeniable in Deuteronomy chapter 28. You have these other nations coming out like we see with the sister and Ishmaelite over there in our land.
And when you hear some Edomite say that, just think how mad how they
How the mother was giving.
Boy, they mad. That's why you said when they say IUIC on the news, you know they got something going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you see Bishop Nathaniel said, like when they was marching, guess what? They had 5,000 Jewish men. Guess what? They had buses lined up finna get ready and go.
They got out, they looked the same.
And when they seen the Israelites out there, guess what? They retreated. Retreated. All praise to the Most High.
All praise.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Number 4, prevent militant black nationalist groups and leaders from gaining respectability by discrediting them to 3 separate segments of the community. The goal of discrediting black nationalists must be handled tactically in 3 ways. You must discredit those groups and individuals to, first, the responsible Negro community. Second, they must be discredited to white community, both the responsible community and to liberals who have vestiges of sympathy for black militant nationalists, simply because they are Negroes.
Butt breaker. What does it call it? Butt breaking.
Third, these groups must be discredited in the eyes of Negro radicals.
Don't that make that sound familiar? The Willie Lynch syndrome. Bring out, hey, I need them to see what I'm finna do. Go ahead.
The followers of the movement, this last area requires entirely different tactics from the first 2. Publicly about violent tendencies and radical statements merely enhances black nationalists to the last group. It adds respectability in a different way. Number 5, a final goal should be to prevent the long-range growth of militant black organizations, especially among youth. Specific tactics to prevent these groups from converting young people must be developed.
Youth, why?
How you develop it?
Why they so worried about the youth?
How did you develop it? When you do Christmas, let's do it for the children.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take away from those things, right? Because if they knew to follow the laws, the children, guess what, man? They'll grow up that way. That's why it's good to see young men and young women, little babies, everybody growing up in this truth. Because guess what? These things is for the future of our nation,
Right.
man.
And that's why the curriculum is changing in your schools for your children. They need, if I get them not to even know nothing about slavery, or we done forgot about it, you won't be standing up trying to be militant. You won't be standing up against the government, because you'll just see the government as something good when they done took the history and they hid it. Oh, that ain't even slavery. Y'all just walked. Everything was fine.
Y'all gave yourself into slavery.
Yeah.
There we get with the governor in Florida, DeSantis. He just put something through to where they stopped teaching African American studies.
Yeah, that man went in there. He and then that man there got a job, boy. He lied. Told me he had a college degree. He had none of that.
Now that's that other devil, Santos.
Santos.
This is DeSantis.
Okay.
He boy dressed up in drag, boy. He all over the damn place,
That
man.
dude be tripping. That's our country. That's America for you. All you gotta do is stand up. I wanna be president. I do too. That's it on the day, but let me give you this law. Let's go to 1 John chapter 3, verse 23. Because I wanted to get in that deeper about us, one of the main solutions, but we just in this law and let y'all get it on that. I see last night took a toll last night on a lot of them. I'm looking at a lot of them, I didn't see y'all think I don't see you. I feel the same way. I just gotta stay up. I got to. I'm looking at him while I'm looking at
Bobblehead.
some of them shaking. Oh, no, get up. Go ahead. Somebody read that. You got it?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 23. This is his commandment, that we should believe on the name of his son, Yahushua,
Mm-hmm.
and love one another.
Do what?
And love one another.
Do what?
And love one another.
Do what?
And love one another.
That's what we need to start doing, man. Because that's even Yahushua when he came. That's all he kept saying. Hey, y'all need to love one another. He knew how we were. We hate each other, man, more. We hate each other damn near more than our enemy hate us. We are our own worst enemy. And he's saying if we just do this commandment, go ahead. I'm sorry I got fired up because
No, that's right. Because
when I
like
hear
you
this,
say,
man, it's what we need to start. It just
yeah, that's right. Because
We
we
need
even
to be
see
doing
it.
this.
I know a lot of times we see it out there in the word, of course, but we see it a lot of times
in
the
here,
truth, man.
yes, and that's exactly what we need.
See, that's
We hate
right.
each other. Y'all talks about, ooh, I don't like what. So y'all better start getting along and loving each other, man. God dang, somebody need help here. Don't worry about it. Well, is you gonna pay me back? Don't care about it. Shoot. Just help each other out when you ain't need help and go on about your business, man.
That's right.
We always got to think about everything. Well, let me see. Did he last week? No, man. You always start loving each other, man. Golly, that seems like that's the hardest task of all. Go ahead, finish it up.
And love one another, as he gave us commandments.
He did what?
As he gave us
He
commandments.
gave us that commandment. He gave us that commandment. Because he said when we do this commandment, we'll be doing all the laws then. But when you ain't loving your brother, you breaking the law. I don't give a dang what you're talking. You have all the friends you want on, some friends, some Zeeks, and everything else.
And it makes sense when you talking about when you loving your brother. Because if you love your brother or your sister, you ain't gonna steal from him.
None of
You
that.
ain't gonna kill him.
You don't want his
lie.
wife.
You don't want. You can do all those things. These is going into keeping all the dang on laws in order, man. Right? Guess what? You want them to keep the feast days. You want them to do everything, man, concerning the Most High God when you love your brother.
That's right.
Right?
And I thank y'all for coming out yesterday. We did that yesterday, had the new moon. Yeah, still a new moon. Still had our little, everybody had their little thing going on. And then y'all got up and came to class. Because a lot of y'all could have made excuses. I know it was hard. I know you need some kickstand on your eyelids today because trying to hold them up. But I'm just glad y'all came. And on that note, we're going to say shalom.